Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. I am the host of Awesomecast, episode 43, Brandon the Awesome, and here is my co-host at the moment, JohnGetsGaming.
Hola.
Very slow week again. It's like slow week, busy week, and now it's a slow week again.
Getting into spring, we're getting into some releases, and at least on the gaming front. And then, there's some stories, even if we're short on videos. We got trailers, we got announcements as far as Lord of the Rings and such goes.
Oh my gosh, is CBR and Collider literally just the same article? No, they're done by two different authors, but the layout of CBR and Collider is exactly the same.
You know what? It's funny. Maybe they were bought by the same parent company or something, because they're always bought by these Saudi conglomerates or something, because they don't make any money. This article about why Lord of the Rings is bad now, it seems to come out like every 6 months or so. There's one that's trying to push this message. I think they're trying to soften the blow for the new stuff.
Yeah, very likely. Which one do we cover first? Which one, the Collider or CBR?
I would say the CBR, probably because it's more recently, I suppose. And the tweet itself, or the X post or whatnot, had the most hilarious ratio, because it had 32. I think that was the one that had 32 likes and then 5 million comments. It was over 1,000 comments or something. It's it doesn't even allow you to dislike it.
I should flip for that in a second. Wolf Scar, welcome to the chat. You are the first comment. Sue Kugar, Brandon, John, Mivar Tigar.
Right, exactly. I agree. I know it's a question because he had a question mark at the end, but
we got to brush up on our man. Just like how the Star Trek has a Klingon dictionary, we need a Mandalore dictionary. Not by Disney, though.
Well, the Mandalorian one is for Disney, it's pretty simple. It's the way.
This is the way. The rose.
Oh, and I know this is the Cloud City guys, but it's I have spoken. This is the way. I have spoken. That's pretty much all they do on Mandalorian. The Ugnaught. Yeah.
How are you? Doing pretty good. Went through the 9 circles of hell yesterday during my work shift. But I'm doing pretty good. Captain Thievius, my man. Welcome to the channel. Welcome.
Makes you like the weekend all the more once you go through that.
Yes. The Chad J.R.R. Tolkien versus the Virgin George R.R. Martin. Finished today in books, George.
Yeah, and the Virgin Stephen Colbert.
Oh, and look, we have another virgin, Justin Everello.
Any lurkers tonight?
Yeah, we just found one. You, dude.
Ooh. I'm not a lurker, I commented.
You are creepy as shit.
You have no life.
Oh.
There's also a Mandoa dictionary online. I swear,
Nice.
I say these things, they come into existence.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself. Buddy, you're one to talk about speaking for yourself when you yourself just parrot what your own buddies say.
No, Birdman says that you parrot.
There are a few. Okay, so this is 8 reasons it's tough to watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy today by AJ Aravind.
So just to head this off, AJ, they released this January in theaters the extended editions, which are 3.5.
What is this profile picture?
Yeah, we don't know. If you're disagreeing with the person with this profile picture, then that means you're probably right. And so
I bet they have pronouns in their bio.
But I literally, I went and saw them this January. Some of the most timeless films, and also some of the most theater enhanced films, as far as seeing in the theater versus seeing at home. I obviously have the Blu-rays, love them at home, but any chance you have to see these in theaters, hell, I'm seeing them again not really in a theater, but I'm seeing him with the Pittsburgh Symphony playing in front of him this June with the Two Towers. Like literally they do not age. They it's like a one effect here or there, but it's like the acting, the drama, the writing, it all is completely ageless. And they're not hard to watch at all.
Shoot, I just watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit before coming on stream.
Traditional animation, it never ages.
Jessica Rabbit. Woo-hoo.
She's not bad. She's just drawn that way.
And then Disney had the audacity to censor her.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so there's
whenever she wrecks the car and spins around.
No, there's a ride at Disneyland where that's based on Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and she's supposed to be kidnapped by the weasels in that ride. But then they remove the fact that she's kidnapped, and they make her into a detective, and they throw like a yellow trench coat over her to cover.
What?
Yes, this is real. I saw somebody call that out. I even think the director did it as well, which is part of the reason he knows they're not going to make a sequel.
Is it Robert Zemeckis?
Yes, Robert Zemeckis, the same guy who unfortunately got suckered into doing the Pinocchio remake.
Well, he also did Back to the Future trilogy, so his legacy is sealed in a certain way.
Yes,
and he may make some blemishes later in life. Yeah,
everyone's got that one bad movie on their record. George Lucas has Howard the Duck. There are a few fantasy adaptations that have reached a high watermark set by Peter Jackson's beloved The Lord of the Rings trilogy. While J.R.R. Tolkien set the standard for the genre over 70 years ago, it was Jackson's adaptation of the franchise that blew the door open, bringing audiences into the sprawling Middle-earth canon and the plight of one Frodo Baggins. Yes, because movies are, unfortunately, the most popular form of entertainment.
I mean, that's even arguable anymore with games, but yeah. Back whenever that came out, absolutely.
Tell that to this one wizard guy I've been arguing with who keeps saying that Disney Star Wars is alive and well.
Oof. Oh, that's like, is it a guy who loves fake Star Wars who's like getting peak after peak after peak?
No, he's been going on and on about financial records and stuff, but he hasn't produced any actual evidence, so.
Yeah, that's pretty telling.
Even now, 25 years after the first film's release, Lord of the Rings remains, with multiple spin-offs, a hit TV show?
Rings of Power, which makes less for Amazon than Clarkson's Farm while costing exponentially more.
I was about to say, please tell me they are not actually referring. And didn't everybody say the Hobbit movie sucked?
So I feel like the first Hobbit movie didn't get too much backlash. There was some cringe stuff with the Goblin King and stuff, but like it was probably the most grounded. It was really the third one is the most indefensible. It goes into full CG, and all three of them have a really bad villain. They made Azog the White Orc like this recurring villain for some reason, and it really didn't work. Like, there's no doubt that they are. I'll say this: they're
inferior.
Yeah, they're undoubtedly inferior. I mean, it's a tough standard to live up to. I understand that, but it did not need to be 3 movies. It has a lot of superfluous elements, especially in the extended editions, because they tried to replicate the whole Lord of the Rings thing by releasing extended editions in theaters. It was a lot of unnecessary things. They should have done more with Gandalf going to find Doran's father, and they should have done less with the CG armies and stuff. There's just a lot of like just indefensible elements of it as far as the battles and stuff goes, and making Legolas's dad like a villainous kind of creature. Yeah, there's a lot that is really stupid with them, and a lot of it's due to like they had Guillermo del Toro and then they got rid of him. They brought in Peter Jackson last second, so that's why a lot of it is CG rather than practical, because they just didn't have time. But it's also like, why did you rush it? you only have one shot at this. Like,
rush projects usually never end up doing well.
yeah,
It is rare when they actually succeed.
like I remember whenever that was coming out, though, it was pretty hype. Like whenever they brought Ian McKellen back as Gandalf, it was the first trailer released for An Unexpected Journey, and people, it was 2009, so it was like 6 years after Return of the King. You're just like, you're happy to see the original directors coming back. The original actors are coming back, other than, Ian Holm, I think, was the original Bilbo, and then they switched to oh gosh, now I'm trying to remember his name. The Bilbo who played him in The Hobbit. But anyways, it was Watson in the Sherlock series with Benedict Cumberbatch. But
yeah, that guy. I think he was also some guy in Secret Invasion.
He was
Martin Freeman.
Yes, he was in Black Panther. He was the one white guy in Black Panther. He was Ross's son. Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, Martin Freeman, like he played a good Bilbo and everything. And there are certain scenes that are amazing. Whenever they're adapting straight from the book, whenever Bilbo is talking to Smaug, it's an awesome scene. Speaking of Benedict,
I disagree
Cumberbatch.
a lot, buddy. You
With
disagree
what?
on the
Be
print.
specific, man.
He only disagrees because it's us. He doesn't disagree because he actually disagrees.
I'm fine. Like being so vague is completely useless to us. What are we supposed to say to that? But oh yeah, go ahead.
I remember AVGN's review of the Roger Rabbit game on NES. That cracks me up every time.
That was back whenever he was still the angry Nintendo nerd, I believe. That was early on AVGN.
Before he had to switch it because copyright, because Nintendo's a bunch of...
Oh, I didn't even realize that. I thought it was because he just wanted to expand his brand to cover more.
It might have also been like that, but it's also because Nintendo's Nintendo.
Yeah. Yeah, Nintendo is very nice and kid-friendly in their games, but then cutthroat in court.
Hey, XX Captain Njax, welcome to the stream, dude. Okay, so.
But yeah, and then the other scene I was going to mention is Bilbo talking to Gollum. Whenever he's doing the riddles in the dark with Gollum to actually win over the ring. That's another excellent scene. There's a few like really, if somebody makes a fan edit cut, I feel like The Hobbit would benefit the most from it. It would cut out all the superfluous crap.
Maybe you could do it. And even an upcoming sequel in the form of The Hunt for Gollum. Why do I feel like that's giving off Hunt for Ben Solo vibes?
Funny thing is, that's what that much maligned Gollum game was based off of, was Gandalf looking for Gollum and Gollum like getting tortured and escaping and being in Mordor and everything. It's like, that's what you're going to base the movie off of? Really, Peter? Like you're going to expand like one mention?
Oh, Peter Jackson's attached to it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think he might be directing it.
Oh, God. Another talented person becoming a hack.
Yeah, he didn't make much of a career after Lord of the Rings, surprisingly. Like he had the King Kong movie. He had Mortal Engines. He was like involved in. He wasn't directing it, but he never really like took full advantage. And in his defense, I know he mentioned this actually in the Return of the King, because he did a little preamble when each of the extended editions released this January. Where he would do a little video before each movie talking about little tidbits about filming and everything. Mm-hmm. And the one for Return of the King, I remember him saying like, oh, my DP, my director of photography, actually died like after this film sometime, and how he hadn't really done any theatrical films for like, I think it was like 10 plus years because he just had such a close relationship with this guy.
That's understandable.
Yeah, and he had done documentaries. Actually has a really good documentary called They Shall Not Grow Old, where he doctors World War I footage. He literally like got the film from a British museum and National Archives and was like adding color to it, he would have lip readers come in and see what they were saying, match it up with poems at the time, and realize like, oh, this is what they were reading to these soldiers. Like he had a very genuine passion for that. And I think he made a Beatles documentary as well, which I have not seen.
I always like Peter Jackson King Kong 2005.
Yeah, it was okay. I think it's a little bit overly long, which I know some people would say about Lord of the Rings, but I feel like that has the content to justify it. But yeah, no, he makes I think They Shall Not Grow was like 2017 or something, but he basically said I have not made a drama action film since then, and so he's taken a break, and I'll have to look it up whether he actually directs Hunt for Golem or not, but I believe that's where he's finally breaking back into a sort of drama.
With all that in mind, Jackson's Lord of the Rings movies were produced in the early 2000s. This means that comparatively, the films have started to show their age in some key ways. Not to say they are no longer worthy of their classic status, but more than 2 decades after first gracing the silver screen, there are a few key things that make the beloved blockbusters a bit tougher to watch upon revisiting. Oh, God, let's see what they've got.
By the way, quick correction. Andy Serkis is actually directing The Hunt for Gollum, he played Gollum. So it makes a little bit more sense. I believe he is just Peter Jackson's just kind of in a producer supervisor role.
Yeah, I've heard of Andy Serkis. I think he played Claw in the Black Panther movie.
Yeah, that's one of his and he was in Andor, unfortunately, but in the prison. But he does a lot of mocap. I mean, starting with Gollum, that's where he made his mark, so to speak.
You bought the book. Did you read it? Can you even read, Justin? Anyway, all right. The Lord of the Ring movies miss key parts of the book. Okay, yes, but that's true of any adaptation. It's like they have to cut parts out for the sake of time.
Yep. And by all accounts, even people who are heavily read on the books, and actually Peter Jackson speaks on this on the director's commentary on the 2003 DVDs and everything. And they copy pasted that on the later Blu-rays and everything, where he says it was actually Elrond's son that delivered this sword to Aragorn. And I got a lot of angry letters about that, but to introduce a character just for one scene, it was going to take too much time. The films were already running long. It's understandable cuts whenever you listen to his explanation for it. It's like, okay, I can see how you want to keep it to at least under 4 hours.
Okay, so let's see. The Lord of the Rings was supposed to whittle 1,000 densely written pages down to 3 movies, a Herculean undertaking that became a monumental achievement. In this regard, Peter Jackson did a spectacular job of condensing the story without straying too far from the main plotline. On the other hand, many fans were frustrated by the excisions of far too many book sequences. Information about family trees and cultural traditions isn't as necessary as the characters themselves. Sauron's death was changed to reflect his life, murdered atop the Tower of Orthanc by his pathetic servant, Wormtongue. Novels dictated an entire chapter to the scurrying of the Shire, and the absence of that scene was felt in The Return of the King. Moreover, it wasn't necessary to remove Tom Bombadil, as his character represented a higher power that always held sway in Tolkien's world. Now that the Rings of Power has been filling in the blanks left by the Lord of the Rings, the gaps feel even more resolute.
Okay, no. Tom Bombadil, first of all, he doesn't factor that much into the story later on. They meet him on their way, whenever the hobbits are initially traveling from the Shire. They run into him. He's like a higher being. He's kind of like above it all. He was there before the ring was ever made. And they even discuss him at the Council of Elrond, where they're like, oh, maybe we just give it to Tom Bombadil. And they're like, but he won't give a crap, basically. He's too above it all.
Yeah, he's too aloof.
Yeah, it's I remember.
Really... Yeah, and Rings of Power basically just turned him into as Nerdrotic said, they basically turned him into Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, he mentors Gandalf and stuff, and he's like, oh, you gotta get your staff, Grand Elf. It's like, oh, gee, I wonder what they're gonna do.
Double A. Yes, welcome to the stream, by the way.
To the Scourging of the Scourging of the Shire is kind of like a post-climax thing. It works it works in the books, but it would have been a weird thing to tack onto the movies. Like once you destroy the ring, that's got to be the climax in a movie, especially because the extended edition of Return of the King is already like 4.5 hours long. Like you can't throw in a whole separate subplot about like the Shire being attacked.
Yeah.
Um,
The Lord of the Rings trilogy became more and more reliant on CGI. Oh my gosh.
a lot of the CG.
I find it funny when it's like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, it's like CGI is the devil. Yet we had the MCU, which had like complete CGI as it went on.
Yeesh.
I mean, now we have like the Nightcrawler actor saying that he literally was in a scene with nobody.
The thing is, The Hobbit suffers far more from this, where Ian McKellen is acting opposite tennis balls, and it's like, okay, that I could understand, like redoing with some more practical effects and everything. The Lord of the Rings trilogy, they used a lot of forced perspective for the hobbits, where they make them seem shorter through more camera angles and more natural means. The orcs are done practically. They get a lot of heavy makeup. They do a lot of close-ups on the orcs because they have that great makeup.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
And a lot of the CG is, I mean, like, I guess like the mouth, whenever I refer to like the dated CG shots, some of the cave trolls movements, he looks a little like separated whenever Legolas is there's a lot of like it's kind of like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films where you get a little bit of a rubber body sometimes in like the
Yeah, but in the Raimi films it's fun and it fits the comic book style.
Yeah, and so it's only during like very minute sequences and stuff, like whenever Legolas is sliding down the Muma kills, like whenever he's swinging around it, whenever he's swinging up on the horse and stuff, it's just like, okay, there's like individual shots that I'll say that for, but it's in no way like heavily prevalent.
It has been a hot minute since I've seen Lord of the Rings. I'm not the biggest LOTR fan. I think it's a bad franchise, obviously. I respect the hell out of the fact that it's a Catholic franchise, but
well, and for the most part, the way they use CG is really smart. It's sort of like Jurassic Park, how it's aged so well, where they'll sort of be zoomed out or in rain or whatnot, where it's like, even on the big screen, where I saw it very recently, it's like, you're not really you're not going like, oh gosh, that looks so cartoony, because it's used in a way that the camera helps it. It's far enough away. The details, like you're not like zooming in on a specific soldier in those battles. You're seeing it's used to
massive
show grand
group shots.
sweeping. Yeah, exactly.
People complain about CGI back then, but praise it now. Makes it. Yeah, when we have stuff like MODOK compared to like how clone troopers looked back in Attack of the Clones.
It's all about how you use it, quite frankly, and even now, compared to early 2000s.
I am Brandon. I don't recall being a dumbass like you, Justin. How can you be me?
Also, why do you have Justin in your name if you're Brandon? Do you have like two first names like Ricky Bobby?
Does he have a multiple personality disorder?
Ooh, he's a variant.
Oh no. The Lord of the Rings earned unprecedented acclaim for its visual standards, a blend of practical effects, miniatures, and pioneering CGI. The Fellowship of the Ring took the Spartan approach, using CGI sparingly when necessary. Meanwhile, the Two Towers elevated its visuals to a whole new level of impressive with the Battle at Helm's Deep and Gollum's motion capture, though the latter's brilliance is thanks mostly to Andy Serkis.
I don't think Andy Serkis would say that. It was a team effort, and Andy Serkis gives great mocap.
Remember, because they're crapping on CGI, they have to like not praise the CGI whatsoever.
Because like, I think Gollum has aged wonderfully for being a close-up, super detailed like CGI model. You can't do the zoom out on Gollum. You have to have individual scenes with him and Frodo and Sam, and that holds up actually amazing.
I know. I mean, my favorite is Lord of the Rings, then Star Wars. Okay. Good for you, buddy. The Return of the King relied heavily on CGI, from the Battle of the Pelennor Fields and the Army of the Dead to the gorgeous capital city of Gondor. Contemporary viewers were understandably amazed by these effects, which now come across as overblown and dated.
All right, we can't show it on stream, but like one of the best scenes of the trilogy is literally just Gandalf riding into Minas Tirith, where the score swells and he's riding up. It's a 7-leveled city, and he's riding Shadowfax up and up and up, and the score just keeps swelling, da 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 da, and it's just like they constructed an actual set for one thing for large parts of that city and for Helm's Deep, and so that is it's the perfect blend of practical and CG. Where the more close-up shots use practical sets, and the more wide-out shots use
unfortunately,
CG.
we can't show it because I don't want to get my ass
Yeah,
copyrighted.
no, and that's why I'm naming like a specific scene, because it's like, guys, you can look this up online. Like it does not look dated. And Pelennor Fields, I actually know this from the extras. They had like 200 horses with riders riding, and then they multiplied that for the battle because it's obviously meant to look much larger. But again, by the time you get to the actual CG, that's all in the background, and it's copied from real motion capture performances. And then they still have Carl Urban and such doing actual stunts, flipping spears in their hands and thrusting them into practical orcs. Like anything close up is done so well. Yeah, I don't
The
know where
scene
they're
with
coming from,
Gollum falling into the pits of Mount Doom while clutching the One Ring looks rather clumsy, effectively taking away from Serkis's Oscar-deserving performance. It just doesn't hold up well in the 2020s.
No.
Yeah, that scene still looks amazing, dude.
And you're so focused on, you're immersed in the story at that point anyway. Like I've never been like, oh geez, I don't care about this scene now. Like that's literally whenever Sam is reaching for Frodo and he's like, don't you let go, because he looks like he's about to let go and just like drop into the pit himself. And yeah, even Gollum's face. Yeah, exact. Hey, Justin, we can agree on something.
Hey, for once he actually said something intelligent.
Yeah, there you go. Broken clocks and all that.
Yep. But I doubt he's ever going to get it right twice. Middle Earth's female characters are severely underserved. Oh, okay, before I read this section, I'm going to take a wild guess as to what they mean. None of them are kick-ass women who kill a bunch of people and show up the men.
It's worth noting that the character that they're showing literally kills the Witch King, who is Sauron's like #1 commander. She also takes out a Mumakil. She literally has a, pretty fan servicey line where, he's like, it is said that no man can kill him. And Witch King says like, no fool, no man can slay me. And then, Mary has to stab him in the back of the leg to like get him kneeling. But then she rips off her helmet and goes, I am no man, and stabs him. And she's a shield maiden of Rohan. She's tasked with protecting the women and children.
Women can be badass occasionally.
They're just mad because she is tasked with protection of women and children, whereas the men go out on the front lines and fight.
We're expendable!
Which is literally like the practical way to fight medieval warfare. Don't know what to tell you.
Now I agree with them, and he's back to being wrong.
And don't forget, like Arwen, she is an elf who saves Frodo. She says, "I'm the fastest rider." Whenever she confronts Aragorn, and she rides Frodo into Rivendell, and yeah. Arwen has a slightly bigger role as Frodo's savior, but the rest of her, it's romantic undertones because she's back in freaking Rivendell, like contemplating going to eternal life versus staying with her
I
man
haven't
in
read
Middle
it
Earth.
yet. Darn it. J.R.R. Tolkien filled his works with both male and female characters, although men were often given the lion's share of the spotlight. This shouldn't have stopped them from granting. Oh, so now we're going to spit on the grave of J.R.R. Tolkien now, are we?
I guess.
From granting his female characters more agency instead of deifying them like Galadriel, Luthien, and Arwen. And Jackson's adaptations didn't improve upon that problem as much as it should have.
It's not a problem, so there's nothing to improve on. They have their roles. They're more matronly. They are more responsible on more the home front. Men go to war. Like Rosie the Riveter wasn't out there in the trenches, okay?
Yeah, we need women to take care of our children, and we need them to go ahead and build our war machine so we can get back to killing each other. Mr. Grimm 6794, welcome to the stream, guy. I think you're one of my newer subs.
Faster rider than Aragorn, she said. She said, I'm the, because they were debating who should take Frodo. And she said, I'm the faster rider.
Galadriel is a symbol of noble femininity, an unnecessary pedestal for women who have shaped the world with their ferocious natures.
So this guy wants more Rings of Power Galadriel versus the actual good one in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Oh.
Eowyn's victory over the Witch King of Angmar is directly connected to her gender, sneakily implying that any women could have killed the overpowered villain.
What?
I'm pretty sure that the baker's wife can't go out there and kill him.
Yeah, she still had to fight him and avoid his mace for several swings, which, like, he fucking bodied Gandalf. Like, I don't know what more you want. That was... He rides in and kills the king of Rohan, and then she has to fight his Nazgul. She chops off its head as it lunges for her, which she deftly dodges. And then he has a massive mace, and like he finally gets her in the shield and like probably breaks her fucking arm. And then she's like finally defeated, but she holds out a lot longer than basically any man or woman could have against him.
The women in the Lord of the Rings have been regulated to secondary roles as supporters, wives, and lovers. Even Eowyn falls into this trap with the unrequited love subplot, shipping her with Aragorn. Sounds great. It sounds great. Let's do that. Let's have another franchise do that.
Wives and lovers are not secondary. I don't know why this guy is such a sexist.
Behind every great man, there is a great woman.
Yeah, it's like it's called different roles. Not everybody has to be the fucking same, which this is why this guy has a problem with it. He wants everybody to be the same. Every gender is the same because we can't have gender conformity. Oh no.
Yeah. CEU AA. I bet AA is going to go to Melvin's stream. Melvin's on it right now.
Yeah.
Tolkien lived through 2 world wars and a Great Depression. This CBR writer is jealous that he cannot even hope to measure up to what Tolkien created.
Mm-hmm. Well, which Lord of the Rings character are you?
I don't know who I would want to be. Even Lord of the Rings didn't avoid cultural stereotypes.
Let's see.
Stereotypes exist for a reason.
Yeah, it's called different cultures, and like different people live in different parts of the world. This literally happened in real life.
Saying that Tolkien belonged to a different era is a blame-deflecting argument used in defense of the writer's borderline colonial game. Oh, so we are shitting on Tolkien, this writer is.
Oh my God.
That's a second attack they've made on him.
And yeah, and this guy wants them to use the property still with this new stuff, but he also says, oh, we also have to completely change it. And so it's a typical like bastardize everything because this
sounds like a fake Lord of the Rings fan to me.
Yep. It's like, this is popular, but we also have to completely change it so that it's not as popular.
While all the elves are compassionate at heart, they clearly represent white characters because we got to make everything about race.
Yes, the elves are fair-skinned, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, geez.
The Rings of Power tried to subvert this with Arondir, a tactic that failed because it came too far late in the franchise. Well, first off, no, it doesn't have to do when it came into the franchise. It has to do where in the franchise it came from. And it came from the Rings of Power.
Yeah, Rings of Power was a prequel anyway, so as far as in the franchise, it was beforehand.
Also, she was insanely ridiculous.
Yeah, it makes no sense about her. And it still doesn't make any sense. It's like there are darker skinned people in Lord of the Rings. They're the Southerners. which, like, if you look at the real world, the equator, you usually get darker skin as you move towards it. Like, it just makes sense.
In fact, even the dwarves, hobbits, and men are entirely white in the Lord of the Rings. There's not a single POC actor among the heroes.
It's almost like they didn't have an agenda and they didn't give a shit whether the person was POC, and they have like countries with specific origins in the story.
Yes, the Easterlings and the Haradim.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I am Grima Wormtongue.
Well, he's the palest of all.
Even in the 1970s, pseudo-intellectuals like this guy hated Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. All they want is their shit ideology being promoted. Exactly! And yet they'll constantly keep pretending like they've been fans all these years. And it's why gatekeeping needs to be a thing.
Will they insult Dune for having the more, like, Muslim-style people be like, you know, the big, most powerful army? Will they be like, oh, we need more white people in the... in all the Dune desert people? It's like, well, no, because that wouldn't make any sense. They're in the desert. It's like, oh, so geography makes sense whenever it's convenient to your message. That's very interesting.
For comparison, Tolkien painted the Haradim and the Easterlings, two races of men who lent their support to Sauron, as incompetent villains. Both these people were of darker skin and hair, and Tolkien juxtaposed the supposedly tainted Eastern and Southern characters against the purity of the West. Well,
I mean, yes, the West is the best culture. First of all, yeah! I feel like we need Lord of the Rings now more than ever with the West being invaded.
Funny how you mentioned Dune. Tolkien hated it. and the writer of Dune was so jealous of Star Wars, he accused George Lucas of ripping him off.
Oh, yeah, because he had a desert planet. It's like, oh, wow. Other than that, I can tell you I have read both, or, you know, listen to both on audiobook, whatnot, but they are very vastly different.
It's still harder than ever to watch the extended cuts.
Extended cuts are superior. In fact, whenever I went to see it in the Symphony, because I saw Fellowship this past year,
and you shared videos about it.
You actually really notice whenever you watch the theatrical versions now, you're like, oh no, that scene's out. Like, there's a bunch because the thing is, guys, a movie never feels long if it's that good. Like,
exactly. Like, they're like watching some of the older movies like RoboCop, I blitzed through it.
Mm-hmm. You're sad that it's done rather than going, oh geez, when is this going to end? Like, it never feels long if it's that. And Lord of the Rings is much the same. It's like, I say that Return of the King is 4.5 hours. My God, I don't feel it. I'm always like, oh crap, we're already on Pelennor Fields. That means we're like halfway done. No. Like,
the Super Mario Galaxy movie might feel like the longest movie ever if I got to watch it, because that's going to be like 2 hours of torture for me.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, a 2-hour movie can feel like I watched the Snow White movie. I think that was like an hour and a half, and I, you know, didn't watch it in theaters, luckily, but so I could suffer on stream with people. But it was like, holy crap, when is this going to end? The hi-ho sequence alone felt like it was 3 hours long.
Yeah. Speaking of the Super Mario Galaxy movie, guys, I am currently in the midst of production of my first ever YouTube video. Therefore, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you can know when it drops. Gotta throw another plug. This is the stream that I like the most. Well, yeah, that's because you're not stupid enough to hate on Lord of the Rings or shill for Rings of Power. As mentioned earlier, Peter Jackson streamlined his trilogy for cinema, removing any scene he believed was inconsequential to the overarching storyline. AKA, he did what literally any director does in the history of movie making ever.
Yeah, and I think even he would agree that's not the ideal version of them, the theatrical cuts. That's why they make such a big deal nowadays out of releasing the extended, and even back whenever the DVDs came out, they were always advertising that it was the extended edition. It was actually a big selling point.
However, the director included many of these scenes in the extended editions, which run for a combined 2 hours longer than the theatrical cuts. One would assume that the availability of streaming platforms would bring the extended cuts to the populace, though that isn't always the case. While there have been platforms highlighting the director's cut, the theatrical versions have always been the most common thing on streaming. More annoyingly, it's impossible to predict when a service will have the extended edition available. Fans can obtain them in Ultra HD Blu-ray, but that's an extra expense that doesn't seem worth it. Viewers need to engage with the trilogy in its most complete form, and there shouldn't be so many hurdles in a process that's otherwise sleek and efficient.
Okay.
What? Okay, first off, this has nothing to do with Lord of the Rings in general or its quality. Like, dude, you don't even justify why it's not worth buying the Blu-ray for the extended versions.
If anything, like, okay, you're watching at home. Okay, I just searched Lord on HBO Max. It comes up with, guess what? Fellowship of the Ring Extended Edition, first thing. Then Fellowship of the Ring Normal, the theatrical. Then Two Towers Extended Edition. Then Two Towers Normal. Then Return of the King Extended. So the Extended Edition literally comes first every time. So I don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about. I literally just searched Lord on HBO Max, who currently owns the rights to these films, and it's like, oh, here's the extended editions.
And he's too lazy to go. And he's too lazy to go on Amazon and buy like the Blu-ray.
So hard to access, I guess.
Cultural saturation has left fans numb. Yeah, well, that happens when that usually happens when a franchise you love is just turned into a money milking farm.
It's also a personal choice. Like if people choose to constantly watch YouTube clips of something to the point where they're so desensitized and like saturated with it, I actually specifically, even though I own them, I actually very rarely watch these at home because I love just having it be somewhat fresh whenever I see it in theaters, I like to like not watch clips of movies anymore because I feel like it just sort of, whenever I rewatch it, I want it to be sort of an event for myself,
Yeah, I rarely do that myself.
So it's like a self-control thing. So if he's saying, oh, it's overly saturated, either he's referring to memes, I'm going to predict, which is like, okay, yeah, that's your choice. You're going to constantly engage with subreddits or whatever that have Lord of the Rings memes, because I know people do prequel memes and everything, or which that doesn't even spoil the movie. That's like a separate thing. Or you're constantly looking up clips on YouTube, which that's your choice. So it doesn't apply to everybody.
The Lord of the Rings has faced one of the most common problems known to global franchises: oversaturation. The movie trilogy earned billions from ticket sales and home video purchases and still continues to be a frequent talking point. The releases of spin-offs such as War of the Rohirrim, which I believe I heard that movie sucked.
Yeah, it did. Horrible. They changed it for so literally it's called Helm's Deep, and it's called Helm Hammerhand is the ruler of Rohan, who it's named after. And he like went out and held off an entire enemy army and everything to help Rohan survive, essentially. And instead, in the movie, they have his daughter, who's not even named in the story, that she is referred to as, I forget if it's in the appendices or if it's in the Silmarillion, where it's like referenced how she was proposed to be married to this guy that eventually ended up attacking Rohan. And she becomes the hero of the movie, and like it's the typical like, oh, you're a woman, you can't fight me, and then and she ends up leading the whole army, and all the men are incompetent and just get everybody killed.
Female woman.
It was an anime style. Like I was predisposed to like that. I was so hyped, and then I discovered what they were actually doing with it. I was like, fuck.
And the upcoming hunt for Gollum consistently keep the franchise in the public eye. That said, the Rings of Power is probably the biggest contributor to oversaturation. Well, it also had to deal with the fact that that show was just plain crap. So, John's going to be taking a quick bathroom break, guys, and I am going to go get a drink real quick. So we'll be right back in just a few moments. Hang on. Let me see. Do I have anything I could use as a... here we go. Be right back, guys. And I'm back. Okay. I can sing for you while you are gone. Buddy, you are in the chat section of a live stream. Don't embarrass yourself.
All right. So I've got two cool things to show off Lord of the Rings related.
And Maximize, you have the screen.
So first of all, this may be one of a kind. I don't know. I haven't checked. Lord of the Rings, Gollum, signed by Andy Serkis, who played Gollum.
Well, that's worth more than the disc itself.
I went up to him. He was at Pittsburgh Steel City Con, which is held 3 times a year, but right after the game was released, I had just beaten it, and I saw that he was appearing at Steel City Con like literally like a month after that, and I was like, I can't miss this opportunity. So I pulled out the little slip cover, and he looks at it for a second. He's like, "Hey, what's this?" It's like, "Oh, it's the terrible game that just came out." And I'm like, I figured I gotta have the best Gollum sign the worst Gollum. And he's just like, "Yeah, I heard it was really, really bad." I was like, "Yeah." And I just kind of gave a few examples. I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know who the voice actor is. I'm not gonna trash him, but." This is what I told him.
Did he at least do a decent job? The voice actor?
No, because he was trying to do like a crappy Andy Serkis impression, and whenever he died, it was like a ah. And the game was famous for like barely having a death animation. It would just go straight to "you died." Just like Gollum would just do this little like pathetic cry, and it was horrible on many accounts. This has been well documented.
Casual Chris, welcome to the stream. Did you ask if he can swim? All right, what's the second item?
So this one is much more official. This is whenever. So these are the 6 movies. They're putting like a leather-bound book kind of look.
That is so awesome.
And then they come with some original like concept art that you pull out of this little leather-bound like thing that you get with them.
That's so cool.
God, it's actually really heavy.
I gotta start getting more of this cool stuff because I know there's some Indiana Jones journals on Etsy I want to get.
Nice. But yeah, so it comes with like some cool original art that came with it, and that's like Gandalf riding into Minas Tirith and stuff. Gandalf's Ride to Minas Tirith by conceptual artist Alan Lee for the Return of the King. So there's a lot of stuff like that in this little collection.
So cool.
Yeah, and then,
I am in consistent jealousy of my friends.
Each of the little like leather bound things, they open up to just like different kind of concept art, and then like it has the discs for the different like extra features and everything, and the extended editions, theatrical editions, all that sort of stuff.
That is so sweet, man.
It cost far more than I would care to admit on stream, but I was like, I must have it. Yeah, and then like the little journal has like some really like rough hewn pages on the edges, and then like just some, even for the Hobbit films, it has some cool concept art and sketches and stuff.
Oh dear.
For even like Tariel, who is not a good character, but then it's got little leaflets in there of like the maps and everything like that, and just like a nice authentic feel to it and everything. Definitely one of my favorite like collector's items.
You rarely get stuff like that anymore.
Hey, Crimson Desert, I'll give it credit, even though
you said I saw the stream.
Yeah, there's some clunkiness with the controls and everything, but I gotta say they did a great collector's edition, and they have a whole like wax seal on their letter and everything. It's just like, okay, you care, even if you messed up something.
You get an A for effort.
Yeah.
Okay, so that said, the Rings of Power is probably the biggest contributor to oversaturation. Well, it's also due to the fact that, that show is shit.
Oh, it's the same excuse they make for Star Wars, where they're like, oh, there's been so many shows, it's oversaturated is the only problem. It's
buddy.
Like, no, it's bad. Why don't you just admit that it's bad?
Like, that's saying the EU oversaturated Star Wars, but the difference is people didn't care because the EU was actually good.
Guys, there's no such thing as oversaturation for a good quality thing. Like, quite frankly, One Piece has been coming out weekly manga for years. You would think that that would be prohibitive because it would be like, oh gosh, it's 1100 chapters long. I can't. It has grown in popularity. It sells more weekly now than it did at the beginning because people are interested and they catch up and they are into it.
Yeah, it's like with comic books. It's like all you really need to do is buy trade paperbacks and you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Like start at the beginning and move.
And those
Hell,
are even.
How do you think I managed to do it with Spider-Man?
Well, you clearly talked to Nerdrotic and he sent you all the original copies.
I wish, but
that he had. I remember he said in his comic book shop he had on a wall display like the original run of Amazing Spider-Man.
All 38 issues.
Yeah. And yeah, basically like people actually, this is true with Demon Slayer as well, where I always joke because I say like the movie made more than Superman, despite the fact that to even begin to get the movie you have to watch 4 seasons of a show. You would think that that would be prohibitive and the movie would only be made for the ultra hardcore fans, but the movie made twice as much as the previous movie, which only required 1 season in order to lead into it.
And it beat Superman.
Yeah, and it makes over 700 million, whereas the previous movie made a lot, even though it came out literally the year of COVID. Like, it brought Japan out of COVID, essentially, because it literally came out in, like, 2020, and they made, like, 400 million in Japan, the equivalent in yen. It's like... go ahead.
Did you hear Chainsaw Man had a crappy finale, the manga?
Oh, I did hear that from Kino, I believe, where he said, like, basically don't read past part 1.
Yeah, I heard that too.
That's unfortunate, but yeah, you know, I for one think Naruto had somewhat of a clunky ending, and yet I still enjoy everything leading up to that point as far as the manga goes. So, you know, you still enjoy certain parts, kind of like Star Wars. You know, you just enjoy the George Lucas era and then pretend the rest doesn't exist.
6 films in the expanded universe, baby. Okay. In addition, Jackson's trilogy has been endlessly satirized, referenced, and dissected by the media and the fandom. People who haven't watched a single second of the films probably know the whole story from the array of memes and reference that abound on the internet. There are no more plot twists capable of genuine surprise. Gandalf's resurrection, Boromir's betrayal, and Frodo's final claim on the One Ring have been an inexorable part of pop culture for decades. Next thing, you're going to cry about the fact that nobody is surprised by the fact that Darth Vader is Luke's father.
Yeah, I always say this. It's what's a good sign of a story is a story that's like, sure, if you're completely separated from it, it's predictable. Okay, yeah, Luke is going to defeat the Empire, etc. Frodo is going to destroy the ring. But you know what? As a what was it, 2001, 2002, 2003, so I would have been 9, 10, 11 whenever I saw those in theaters. You know what? It was the most shocking thing in the world whenever he destroyed that ring at 11 years old, because they made you feel the threat, they made you feel the despair, the epicness of this enemy, the inescapability. It's like good stories will get you immersed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not just because I was a kid. Like, even later on, Your Name, which I saw in like 2022, 2023, so I was, 30 something years old, whatever. It's a good story, and that was just a movie. That was like an hour and a half, hour 45-minute movie. You got so invested in the story. It's like, of course, completely separating yourself, like, oh yeah, the good guy has to win. They're not going to end this on a completely depressing note, just logically thinking. But like, who cares? Like, you have to be like a meta asshole to like be like, well, clearly this will end this way. It's like, shut up, just let yourself get captured by the story. It's fine. So like that whole point is just moot. It's the same thing with Star Wars. Like I saw those, gosh, 15 years, at least after they first aired, whenever I
Wait,
saw them.
what? Vader's Luke's father?
Yeah.
It's a really bad argument because we all know we're going to die, yet we still fear things we know are
Finite.
Yeah.
But
Finite.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, if you're going to be that like existential or nihilistic about things, it's like, okay, well, nothing matters then. Why should we care about any story? F it.
But where's the fun in being like that?
Yeah, that's a really boring
because I've sort of been in that kind of mindset before, and it's genuinely not fun. I'll tell you that. Modern fantasy has changed the game. Although rewatching The Lord of the Rings in 2025 might feel as exciting as ever, new viewers are faced with a unique problem. Fantasy has evolved significantly since Peter Jackson, with the best stories often being the most subversive. Game of Thrones.
Subversive. Fuck that.
Oh, The Last Jedi. You'll still forever be hated. Game of Thrones stole Lord of the Rings' crown almost immediately by depicting a complex world with a diverse range of values and moralities. House of Dragon, until the finale came about, where they had to basically make it up as they went along because George R.R. Martin couldn't be bothered to finish the book.
Well, oh yeah, for Game of Thrones, yeah, House of the Dragon, he has finished that story because it's in a history book, and actually Joffrey spoils it in like season 4 of Game of Thrones, if you actually listen closely. But House of the Dragon was more messed up by HBO being like, you only get 8 episodes rather than the 10. And so they're like, oh crap, we're gearing up for the finale and now we have to end the season. Oh no. So I don't know what they're going to do with season 3 of that. But
House of the Dragon followed the same trend, effectively reflecting the real world for fantasy narratives. Meanwhile, there's far too much moral clarity in The Lord of the Rings for the story to feel authentic and relatable. With very few exceptions, the heroes are always good and the villains are always evil. And yet the 21st century has no place for black and white perspectives. In fact, newer fantasy stories have also been blending genres to rise above the cliched archetypes. A notable example is the Green Knight's surreal approach. Lord of the Rings simply isn't cool or unique enough anymore.
Fuck
speak
you.
for yourself, buddy. First off, I don't think we've lived in more black and white times till now. Like World War II, it was pretty darn black and white for the most part. And now it's like we're dealing with a bunch of legitimately practically evil assholes that are trying to ruin our very way of life.
Hey, why did people like Night of the Seven Kingdoms? Oh, that's right. It's because Dunk was like a legitimately good guy and trying to draw a moral hard line, and that came out this year. That's called black and white morality. It's people maybe are like starving for it.
Hey, why do people like Star Wars? Oh, could it be perhaps that it's a story of good versus evil? Or why do people like Superman? Is it because he's a big blue Boy Scout who literally is like the spitting image of what a superhero should be?
Yep. This guy, he's caught up in his own, oh, I'm too cool for school. We can't have these basic things anymore. And it's like, meanwhile, the basic things are the things that play 40 years later whenever people have them at home. And yet somehow they make this much at the box office. And it's like, no, people can't get into that moral clarity. That's too much. It's like, no, you want it to be that. But it's not that.
Tell that to somebody who loves Transformers. That series works best when it's clearly black and white.
What movie was it, Brandon, where John Cena was like, they're called Decepticons?
Bumblebee. That was the Bumblebee movie. This idiot just wants to subvert expectations to appear smarter than he really is. He just wants Mass Effect 3, Last of Us Part 2, and TLJ all over again.
And the only thing I'll say to that, Captain Thievius, is it's the end of Mass Effect 3. Because Mass Effect 3, for the most part, there's some really
pretty
awesome
good leading up until
Shield's Marauder.
And then everything just doesn't matter.
Yeah, and then it's like push button ending, whatever. Yeah, but like up until that, they're they have serious moral discussions on ruthless calculus, but the Reapers are undoubtedly the evil. Nobody is like, oh, baby, we should just let them annihilate all the sentient life. I don't know, Shepard. It's like...
I bet any money the person that made the article is a leftist and therefore views things as black and white because the right is bad right. Yep. Well, I mean, that's the kind of people CBR hires. These are the same people that make articles saying Batman is bad because he beats up poor people.
Former CBR writer Anthony Gramuglia would probably agree with this article.
He agrees with anything that fits his diseased brain. Good versus evil is greater than morally gray slop. Exactly.
And I'm fine with, like, I'll say this. So, like, the morally gray thing, it evolves from the good versus evil. And so you got to have the pillar. It's sort of like how, who was the author of Watchmen?
Alan Moore.
Yeah. And he has even said, like, not everything can be Watchmen. Like, to subvert, you have to have the pillar, the standard.
And keep in mind, Alan Moore is a Marxist.
Yeah. And even he agrees, like, I forget what the exact quote is, where he's like, you got to have the standard to subvert it. Like, you can't just have everything be subversive.
And this is the same guy who tried making Rorschach the bad guy, yet ended up making him, like, probably the most morally adjusted character in the entirety of the book.
I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
Honestly, I want more of the classic fantasy. I'm still waiting on some actual Arthurian legend movies. Give me the authentic King Arthur, Lancelot, and the Knights of the Round Table. Well, in the meantime, there's Knight's Path that's coming out.
Yeah, well, and I'll say this. As far as authentic, like, classical kind of hero, something that's fairly recent, I believe 2023, Final Fantasy 16. It had a classical male mentor character in Sid. It had a classical romance, which was done very earnestly, which anymore, as long as they're not, like, constantly making meta references and saying, like, well, that happened and everything, I'm such a fan of just earnest storytelling anymore, which you get a lot in anime and then not a lot in Western stuff. It had, and Clive was like a very traditional hero, very well done, just like self-sacrificial, heroic.
Some of my favorite character, like Batman and Spider-Man, are literally like the most morally straight characters you can think of. Which is why it sucks when they give them a love interest and that they don't have that love interest ever have any, thought about being a good guy.
Catwoman.
Black Cat. It drives me nuts. Black Cat. Let's just be honest. That's any woman with that much of a tit advantage. They're going to be morally gray because they know they can get away with it. Felicia's like, you know what? I can betray you 50 times, Peter. We all know you're going to come back. He's like, because Peter's a pussy. I'd argue that Mass Effect 3 failed at the start. My Renegade Shepard didn't give a damn about any of his squad mates or even that autistic kid that was strapped to a machine. But this little boy...
Okay, Renegade Shepard is a different story. All right. That's a choice-based game, all right?
Hey, Brandon, your biggest fan is back. Oh, look, it's Charlie Kelly, the Rat King. He's back for another ass whooping.
That's Charlie's theme song.
Hey, pal. You just blowing from Stupid Town?
Oh, that never gets old.
This is Charlie Kelly after every joke he makes.
Remake nerves have swept the Lord of the Rings fandom. Cricket noise. That's literally all my enemies. Arguably one of the most vexing issues is in current media. Remakes have taken the world by storm. Oh God, don't remind me. Remakes, remaster. Okay, remasters aren't quite as bad, assuming they're done well.
Remasters are just making things available for a new audience.
Remake is just rebuilding it from the ground up and changing things.
Yeah, it's always tough because it's like, I feel like we should categorize things differently because, like, MGS Delta, Crash Bandicoot, and Spyro, like those are technically remakes
But
because they don't change any of the story or the dialogue or anything. So it's like, okay, they're like
they just
ground
add
up.
they just add a few things.
Yeah, it's like ground up remaster, I suppose I would call them, because they redo the graphics like down to a character model rather than just upping the resolution, the frame rate. Whereas a remaster is usually just like, okay, we're going to add a few more pixels, we're going to add a few more frames, which, to be fair, I'm fine with that because then you don't risk changing anything.
And then there's the worst of them all, the continuations like X-Men 97.
Well, and then there's like Final Fantasy VII Remake because they called it remake, but then it's a continuation of the story because it's like an alternate dimension, like retelling of the story with ghosts that weren't there in the original that are changing fate and everything like that.
Oh no. Hang on, I'm getting something out of the raid that looks. What is the Pokemon franchise anymore?
It's what it's always been. It's there to sell. It's games, to sell cards, to sell shows, to sell games.
Many studios would rather bank on previously successful projects than fund something completely new, leading to a spate of unwanted reboots. Harry Potter is getting a TV show that will follow the exact same story as the movies, though it promises to be a far more faithful adaptation. I've seen everybody crap on it.
First of all, I mean, people were excited whenever the show was first announced, especially the most hardcore fans, because it is books being adapted to a movie. You inevitably have to make cuts, like this guy mentioned earlier with Lord of the Rings. Whenever you make a series, you have a chance to include every little detail because you have
more time.
Yeah, you got 8 to 10 hours probably to tell your story. Okay, in a Harry Potter, at least the first 3 books were relatively shorter, so you can probably include every stupid little detail. Because you don't have to waste pages describing scenery because people can see the scenery. So you eliminate a lot of book
scenery. Where's the scenery?
Yeah, you eliminate a lot of book details just by it being a visual medium. And so it's like people were excited until they announced the casting and all that crap.
Black Snape
Moan, yeah.
And I'm not even a Harry Potter fan for a lot of reasons, but they upgraded Allura in Spyro.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah, because those were mostly faithful. Like I think they kept the same voice lines and everything. But yeah, I think Laura was in Spyro 2, I believe. She was like the satyr lady. And
yeah, I know I know Tom Kenny came in to do Spyro's voice, and he sounds a lot better than he does in the original games. Because he sounds
what
like
about Nasty Nork? I'm going after him.
More like Final Fantasy VII reimagining, and they act surprised that Part 2 had a 90% sales drop.
Yeah, Part 2 took some heavy liberty. They did not need to make it a trilogy. It could have been 2 parts because I'm not sure what they're going to do in Part 3.
And then there's the endless spate of Disney live-action remakes that few fans ask for. Actually, no fans ask for. Correction. Oh. Saying few fans is being generous.
I'll say this. If they'd have made them all like 2015 Cinderella, I would have been perfectly happy with that. Make it a stage play version of it, essentially. Cast great act. Lily James as Cinderella. You've never even come close to matching that, Disney. You had her be, she was feminine, she was beautiful, she was in that dress. It was very simplistic to this guy's earlier point about, everything has to be morally gray. You know what? That was pre-TDS, and it shows. Because
simple just works better.
Yep. She's
a fawn, John, you dork.
Oh, yeah. She does say that. She's like, I'm a fawn, you dork. Because Spyro's like, what are you? I actually remember that. I played those games as a kid. It was funny. Whenever we got the Spyro.
I beat the first one. I got to go back and 100% it.
My siblings made fun of me so much, Brandon, because I had not played the remastered. I wanted to play it for the first time with them because we all grew up with it. We all got the PS1 for Christmas in like 98, 99 or something like that. And we got it with Spyro 1 and 2, probably 99, because I don't think it came out until then. But like, we were playing the remaster of the first game whenever I was at my sister's house, and I was like, hey, jump over that wall. I think there's a key over there. I hadn't played this game in 15 years. And we jump over the wall, and there's a key. She's like, how did you remember that beach? And I was just like, I don't know. It's a childhood memory, man. And then we went and got the secret dragon right over that wall. It was just like, oh man, there's specific lines like that. And then trouble with the trolley, eh? That guy pissed me off to no end.
Although adapting to Lord of the Rings once again is unlikely, given all the side projects commissioned for the franchise, even the idea of a reboot is off-putting. There's already the fading nostalgia that fans have to contend with. Fading? Nostalgia? Buddy, Lord of the Rings is still very popular. Why do you think so many people hated Rings of Power when it came out?
Why do you think so many people? They made like, gosh, I'd have to look it up. I know it was only over 10 million from even the re-release this year, and they did it somewhat limited. I remember like in my theater, it was only supposed to be one weekend, and it turned into like a whole month where they showed it every weekend, all the whole trilogy.
Never underestimate the power of a fandom, man.
Mm-hmm. They respond, and the theaters go, oh, we're selling popcorn, we're selling seats more than we are in January usually, so why not? We got nothing else to show.
Putting even more pressure on how viewers should consume the film trilogy. Some want a reboot to rectify all the problems mentioned in this article, meaning all the issues personally had that we personally debunked.
10 people. Yeah. Okay. They have a problem with it, and they're like, oh, this is so much less problematic. Yay, remake.
While others want their masterpiece preserved as it is. The tension between nostalgia and interpretation transforms The Lord of the Rings into a battlefield for the legacy of fantasy cinema, making rewatches feel less satisfying.
Okay, so let's see. The 25th anniversary theatrical re-release of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which was the extended editions, which this guy didn't like, did 11 million opening weekend. And then I know it played for a couple more weekends. So, probably a few million more. And then you're also counting, they're 3.5+ hour movies. So you're probably getting a lot of snacks. I know I got my large popcorn. I dumped out half of it whenever it got to the crappy bits. I refilled it, came back into the movie.
Okay, so
that's how theaters make their money.
I want to cover the Collider article has a few bonus ones that aren't covered here. All right, give me a sec. Oh, thank God, my computer did not freeze up on me.
That's the thing people don't take into account, though, because theaters are candy stores, essentially.
Oh,
they are there to, they get a portion of the ticket prices, but they make most of their money from concessions. And so they want you to stay in the theater, buy concessions. It's why back in the day, whenever I didn't want to pay for a second ticket, I would buy concessions and walk into the next movie because nobody asks a question when you got a bucket of popcorn. They're like, you probably given us more money than you would have for the ticket,
Yeah, so it's like I actually hope to work for a movie theater. So in the upcoming weeks, so which also means I would probably have to shift things around because I applied for a very late schedule, working weekdays. Okay. Because I cannot stand my current job anymore. Anyway, okay. No, I did not open the CBR article again, even though it looks exactly identical.
When was this from? A couple weeks ago, at least.
Lord of the Rings is greater than Star Wars. That's your opinion, buddy.
I think it's a fair debate. As far as the trilogies go.
By Safwan Azim.
March 5th, so about a month ago. Yeah.
Close to it. All right.
Terrible pause face for Aragorn there.
All right. The very first one. The movies are very long and require a lot of time in one sitting.
We covered that. They go past in a flash because they're well-told stories.
Okay, so we can skip that one. There's early effects. Outdated. Large parts of the story focus on traveling, which slows the pace.
No, that gets you immersed in the world. It makes you feel the gravity of the journey, I believe.
A major portion of the trilogy is built around movement. Characters walk across mountains, forests, plains, and ruins, often with long stretches where little changes beyond location. This structure reflects the journey at the heart of the story, and it reinforces the physical cost of the quest. However, when revisiting the films today, that emphasis on travel can test patience. Maybe your patience, because
TikTok generation.
I was about to say that you've wasted all your time on TikTok.
That's where Mr. Grizzy's had to go for his shills recently.
Brandon is going to have to keep the shills in line at the theaters. Oh, no, I'm going to I'd probably just grab a taser and just go, stay in line.
The theater I used to go to, there was a great ticket taker. He would always make a comment. You know, I went to see like Thor Ragnarok or something. He'd be like, he'd be like, oh no, I was wearing a Thor shirt and I was going to see one of the ones post Infinity War, and he was like, Thor, he's one of the ones that survived, right? He was like totally into his job. It was great. And like I went to see like Hell House LLC. He was just like, the House of Hell, don't get lost. He like hands me a little ticket stub back.
Yeah, I gotta try and do that. Many scenes exist to show distance, and those scenes do not advance the plot. Oh my, not every scene needs to advance the damn plot.
Yeah, you can have character building scenes. This is actually what I like with a lot of video games, where it's like you take those little, and especially older games or older shows, quiet character, just two characters having a conversation. It can be such a great scene because not everything feels so like frenetic all the time. It's just like, I can relax. Brandon, you know this from Star Trek.
Yeah.
How many times are they just talking among like the main crew?
Tons of times. It's like there's emphasis on action sometimes, but they also, sit down and talk, and sometimes slap a pregnant woman.
Or it's just like Spock, McCoy, and Jim, and they're just like, what do you think, Spock? And he's just like, blah blah blah, and he's just like, you green-blooded, blah blah blah, and it's just like, they
such
talk
a great dynamic.
Out.
It's such a great dynamic that works.
Yes, and the thing is, you need somewhat of a repetition, because you can't just have it be quick, because then it feels shallow, or you can't just have it happen one time or it feels shallow. You need to have well-established characters. You need to have characters that are well defined, because then you feel like you've sort of lived with them for a while. And this happens a lot in anime, and it's why sometimes fillers are okay, because it's like, I've kind of lived with these guys for a little while. I know who they are.
I mean, Dead Rising also has moments where you can just take a breather and do stuff. It's like, it's not always about, zombies.
Yeah, a lot of times in games you'll stop and just talk to the other characters and stuff, and it's not a waste of time. It's actually just like really, you need it's called juxtaposition, where like to feel the peaks, it's not necessarily a valley, but you got to feel the level moments where it's like, let's just relax for a minute and live in this world, but not in a waste of time, burning time kind of sense like Andor does, but like actually like living with the characters and getting to know them a little bit.
These people at CBR don't have a sense of imagination or adventure. They're all so boring.
You're boring. Fucking pronouns.
The dialogue in Real Trek is actually intelligent. Deep Space Nine is a masterclass at great Star Trek. I can't wait to get into that show.
Have you gotten into TNG at all?
Not yet. I still have the 6 movies to get through, but I took a break to watch Stargate, and then I got hooked on Samurai Jack.
That's right. Well, luckily Samurai Jack has short episodes, so even though it's 5 seasons, it's like, okay.
5 seasons of brilliance.
Yeah.
You can fly? No, jump good.
Oh, he got to that one. I love how they
Yes,
just end that and they don't even have him like kill Aku or anything. It's just like you gotta freak him out one time.
You want characters to talk and have development. What are you, a nerd? Yes.
I gotta move on to the next thing. I just want to be a social media fan so I can say that, you know, this big hype
No.
moment
We
happened.
can't have fights, guys. We can't have arguments over comic book stuff. Buddy, I don't think you understand the very first thing about being a nerd. That is like a very big part of what we do.
No, that's toxic. Ooh.
While they add scale and realism, they also slow momentum, especially when watch it in one sitting. Modern viewers are more accustomed to tighter pacing and frequent narrative turns. Okay, so maybe, you know, expand your palette of taste. You know, try different movies, different genres, as it were.
You know what had a tighter grip on the pop culture zeitgeist? It was anything pre-modern. So maybe
certainly nobody cares, because certainly nobody gives a crap about Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah, well, and even like Tulsa King or something, where it's like, you know, modern show that takes its time, and look at that, it has no brand IP behind it, and yet Taylor Sheridan makes his name completely on his own. Whereas you have Star Trek on the same streaming service, and they're like, we don't really care about that because it's just a bunch of shallow nonsense. And it's like, oh,
we get the gayest Star Trek ever.
Yeah, why is Tulsa King, Landman, and Yellowstone succeeding more than this big brand IP that we probably paid way more money for? Oh, it's because these have good writing and they actually care about the characters and they're taking a moment to breathe. And meanwhile, like, oh, we have Star Trek behind us. That's an inherent like step up. It's like, oh, a bunch of more people are going to check this out just because it has that name on it. And yet you lose more of them. That should tell you something.
Holly Hunter.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh, want to check out my feet?
I am so glad that show is finally getting shot.
Oh, it's only got one more season, Brandon. Don't forget.
I know, but my mom actually, like, she's not the biggest Trekkie or anything, but she, you know, she loves The Next Generation and Picard. So it's like she I think my uncle showed her a few clips because he occasionally comes over to watch stuff with my parents. Sometimes while I'm streaming, and it's like he showed her a few clips of it, and even she was so appalled by how they've treated the Star Trek IP.
The only thing that's even like, and it's honestly, it only looks good in a cheerleader effect sense, is like the Picard season 3, just because it has nostalgia berries. It's just like, oh, okay. Like, at least we're not spitting on your characters constantly.
Yeah, but you're still attached to New Trek, so.
Yeah, it does as much as it can to separate itself, but let's be honest, it's still attached. And so it's the same mentality that like people who like the reasonable people who like Andor will say with Star Wars, they'll be like, yeah, I'd happily dump it out with the rest of it. Like, just get rid of all of it. You know,
I mean, to be fair, Disney doesn't have anything good, so it's like, it's no real loss.
Yeah.
In contrast, The Lord of the Rings often pauses to observe landscapes and process exhaustion. Over time, these moments can blur together. The journey remains meaningful, but the sheer amount of time spent getting from one place to another can make the experience feel longer than necessary on repeat viewings. Well, first off, the entire point of Lord of the Rings is traveling to Mordor to get rid of this stupid piece of jewelry. So,
and people joke about that, but it's often very quick sequences. You know, it'll have some rousing music. It'll show them traveling across some mountaintops. And then it immediately transitions into the next conflict, into the next, like, you know, set piece or something. It's like, okay, we're going to try to travel across the mountaintops. Oh, Saruman is stopping us because he's changing the weather. How do we combat this? Oh, we have to go through the mines of Moria. Okay. Like, It's fairly quick as far as the pacing goes and what the resolution is. It just has a lot to cover and a lot of characters.
Yeah, and that's a lot to juggle. The former old style dialogue can feel hard to connect with emotionally. Oh, great. It's the prequel dialogue bit all over again.
It's not modern vernacular, so that's bad. That's bullshit. It's like, oh, that makes me actually feel like I'm in a fantasy world, in a medieval world, because they're talking
like,
and they actually care.
Like Netflix's Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, what did they say? Like on fleek?
Well, they had like, it was a bunch of black people instead. Like it's set in the same time period, but now it's black people, and or like that one Cinderella movie that the one on Amazon, the one with the guy trying to pass himself off as the fairy godmother.
I've forgotten about that. I was so forgotten by the annals of time. That's funny.
I only remembered it because I saw a really funny review of it by this guy named Just Stop, who I actually shared one of his videos because he's actually called out Disney on a lot of their bullcrap.
Yeah.
Because he actually made a video talking about how they screwed over the copyright system. And like their many crimes. So it's like,
well, I know for a while Disney was the reason it got expanded.
Yes, twice.
Yeah, because they got it up to like, I think like 84 years, and then finally they couldn't get it going anymore. And so that's why we finally got like horror versions of Steamboat Willie and stuff.
Yeah, but honestly, come on, man. I actually still have to watch Steamboat Willie because it's like, doesn't people have to have uploaded it by now? Why am I doing with my life if I haven't watched Steamboat Willie yet?
Oh, you mean the original? I thought you meant the horror version for a second.
No, that's like, why would I want to watch the horror version?
I did watch the first Blood and Honey as far as Winnie the Pooh goes. Just out of morbid curiosity. Yeah, it was like the most basic slasher ever. And it was just torture porn with Christopher Robin.
I couldn't bear to watch it because I absolutely adore Winnie the Pooh. Like, Winnie the Pooh was a part of my childhood growing up.
No, same here. And it's kind of in one ear, out the other. It's a nothing kind of movie.
I know. And then it got a sequel.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
Like
maybe this October.
Like even Popeye got horror movies, and I actually remember. Yeah, I saw somebody review them, and they were just so bad because they even made like Olive Oil, who's in one of the movies, his sister.
Oh no! Why?
When it's like, Popeye and Olive Oil are supposed to be, she's his romantic love interest.
I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I am an incestuous man.
You want to know something sad? Despite the many, many flaws of Star Trek Online, they do a better job at being Star Trek than anything Kurtzman ever did. Star Trek Online's current storyline is genuine horror. My dad kind of checked out from Star Trek Online, though. He's been playing Fleet Command.
I can believe that, though, because like there's a lot of the online games that like they'll be based on the older
SWTOR.
Yeah, exactly. They're based on kind of that older continuity. And so it's like before a lot of modern shit infected it.
Hey, what's that noise in the background real quick? There's some noise going on in the background.
Oh.
Is that on that has to be on your end because that's not on mine.
Go away? Did it go away?
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's whatever. We can still go for it.
I was trying to mute to see if it like got rid of it.
No, but it's fine. It's fine. We can keep going. I just wanted to know what the heck it was.
Okay.
Oh no, now it's gone.
Oh, okay.
I keep panicking that my computer's going to freeze up on me again. Much of the Lord of the Rings trilogy relies on elevated, almost ceremonial dialogue. Characters speak with purpose, restraint, and a sense of destiny hanging over every line. This fits Tolkien's world, where language carries history and moral weight. At the same time, that formality can create distance for modern viewers who are more used to conversational speech and emotional directness.
Not everything has to be modern sensibilities. This is quite literally a different time. If you were to make Kingdom of Heaven, which takes place in like the 12th or whatever century, you wouldn't want them to talk like modern people. Like, this is just narcissism. It's like everybody has to speak like me, to think like me, and to be just like me in the modern age. It's like, no, have some humility. Not everybody was always like you.
Oh my gosh, I have I have to upload it, but I have the perfect clip for whenever someone's acting narcissistic. Oh gosh. And it's actually from something Barbie related that I watched with my sisters that genuinely was hilarious. I loved it.
Here's what I say to those people.
Would you shut the fuck up?
That's why we got to do gatekeeping, man. We got to shut these people up.
It's like saying, oh, you shouldn't make another Friday the 13th because, like, oh, the boobies and the killing of women is going to be too bad for modern audiences. It's like, well, maybe modern audiences have been conditioned to be one thing and they should be something else.
Yep. Also, R.I.P. Jason, wherever you are.
Oh, man, even his game got shut down because of the stupid rights issues.
Because characters rarely speak casually, their inner lives often stay implied. Their feelings surface through duty, honor, or sacrifice instead of personal reflection. For some viewers, this makes emotional connection harder, especially in quieter scenes where dialogue carries the scene more than action. Okay, buddy, I don't need to know every single aspect of their lives.
Yeah.
I am really getting tired of the whole modern view being shoved into period pieces. Again, they did it with Pride and Prejudice. They did it with Cinderella on Amazon.
It's like, just get over yourself. It's not everything is going to be like you.
The films ask the audience to lean in and interpret meaning. Oh, so asking our audience to actually have some brain cells is a crime.
And the thing is, like, this is what makes it timeless. This is what this idiot doesn't realize, is that, like, if they went with modern vernacular in 2003, it'd be a bunch of, like, Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, like, gobbledygook, and nobody would give a shit today. The reason it's timeless is because Tolkien was genius enough to make it into a sort of mythological tale, and Jackson was smart enough at the time, we don't know so much anymore, but he was like, we're not going to have any of our modern sensibilities. Actually, I'll find the interview for you, Brandon, but keep going for now. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. While this approach once felt noble and immersive, it now risks feeling stiff to viewers raised on character-driven storytelling where emotions are spoken openly and relationships feel more immediate. Yeah, well, maybe these people should actually try and, experiment a little. Okay, blah, blah, blah. It's literally mostly the same article. Did Collider rip off CBR or did CBR rip off Collider?
Yeah.
And the rest of
I think the CBR is far more modern one. So I think that was
All right. So the rest of that was mainly, the normal stuff. It was the same stuff we already covered and lied. Jason will be back. He always comes back. He can never die.
Probably once all those stubborn assholes who currently own the rights actually die of old age, they will finally like not cling on to, because one of them has the name, one of them has the property. It's a weird thing with rights, and neither one of them wants to just say, hey, let's split it 50-50 and we'll actually release something and make some money on this.
Cannibal the Dragon, welcome to... All right. In other news, apparently Daredevil Born Again Season 2 released.
Oh, yeah.
And I've got a few things about it that we can make fun of. So IGN released their review. And, and then there was a clip that they released. I got to open the new tab for that. So So I still have not seen the I still have not seen the scene yet for the Netflix show. Which is a mistake on my part. I actually need to get to it. So this is a clip from the show that they uploaded to YouTube. I pray to God that I don't get copyright strike for this. Let's see. 82 dislikes to 6.1 thousand likes. I'm starting to feel like the internet is rigged. Oh, you can't have your characters announce how they feel. That makes me feel angry. I remember that episode. That was actually a pretty good episode of Futurama. In my hands, what'd you do to my fingernails? What'd you do to them? I cleaned them. All right.
Okay, you okay? Yeah, just the trials. Just. What's it?
Please tell me that they didn't just have him go back to not being Daredevil again. We can't be doing this crap over and over. How many times is he going to retire from being Daredevil in this show? Because he already did it in the first season. Because I actually brushed up on watching a review of the first season, and holy crap, it's terrible.
Oof. Yeah, I still got to watch the first episode. I'll probably I don't know, freaking live view it or whatever.
I'd probably want to come on and check it out as well.
Brandon, here is the interview I was thinking of. It is a short of Peter Jackson talking about how he viewed adapting Tolkien's work whenever he first made it.
Oh, okay. Hang on.
Whenever he first made the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Okay.
And it says a lot. It's a humility that you will not see in modern Hollywood.
And okay.
I've always thought it was remarkable that Tolkien basically spent his entire life creating what he called the secondary world. You know, he created the languages, he created thousands of years of history. It's so rich and so detailed that nobody today that writes a piece of fiction is ever going to come close to the sheer wealth of information and detail. As filmmakers, as writers,
even I, who am planning on making my own franchise, won't be able to compare, unfortunately.
And it's inspiring, but it's like, that's a certain humility as a film director where you're just like, I literally can't compare to this guy. I shouldn't try to subvert him or anything. Like, it's my responsibility to pass this on.
Mecha G75, welcome to the stream. We'll talk about that in a minute.
We had no interest whatsoever in putting our junk, our baggage into these movies. We just thought we should take what Tolkien cared about clearly. We should take those and we should put them into the film. This should ultimately be Tolkien's film. It shouldn't be ours.
And that's exactly how every adaptation ever should be handled.
Like, imagine that, not me, someone who is long dead, even in 2001. Whenever he was filming these, it's like, imagine that humility in modern Hollywood where it's just like, oh yeah, he's long dead and all I want to do is honor his vision rather than make him, it's all me and my sensibilities, and I can improve him and I can change him. It's just like, no, you can't.
Fun fact, he's got some of the creatures from the first King Kong movie.
And Peter Jackson, yeah, he does have a genuine passion. I remember for They Shall Not Grow Old, he had like World War I artillery at his estate and uniforms and such, and he went and photographed all the grass in the areas that they were fighting the battles just to get the color exactly right. Like, whenever he gets into something, he's actually like genuinely passionate, and it's unfortunate the new Lotr stuff that he doesn't seem as passionate about.
Thoughts on Ben Affleck as Daredevil? They tried.
I mean, he could have been good. He had the look and everything, but it's just like, and he had like, the money where it was like different or maybe it was just like separated in different piles, I believe. Because I know a lot of blind people actually complain about American currency, how it's all the same size. And they actually say that's actually like a problem for them that they can't separate it.
I enjoyed Darefleck. The movie was great in my opinion. Really having
Darefleck.
that comic feel, even if kind of cheesy. Michael also killed it as Kingpin. Ah, yes.
Absolutely.
Kingpin being black. They actually used him again for one of the Spider-Man shows, the MTV one.
No, and after Green Mile, I feel like he had Michael Clark Duncan had some presence about him, and he had the physicality of Kingpin.
Even if he didn't have the skin tone, it was like, small price to pay, because at the very least he acted like the character. Compared to most times when a character gets race swapped.
And, hey, Jennifer Gardner as Elektra, I ain't going to complain about that, even if she got immediately killed off.
Oh, hi, Elektra. Bye, Elektra.
Boom. I'd like to pierce her, but not like that. Jeez.
All right.
What the hell, Bullseye? I still like Colin Farrell. He's like, Bullseye. Eh?
All right, here's IGN, because time to see how things are going so far.
Daredevil Born Again returns for a second season, having moved beyond the baggage of the big off-screen turbulence it faced in its first year. Whereas
it shook off the turbulence, Tell that to Daredevil fans. Already are extremely pissed because they just had to suffer the first really terrible Daredevil comic run in years, decades, ever since Frank Miller took over the book.
It also had the benefit, by the way, in season 1 of coming off the Netflix show, which had 2 legitimately great seasons, and even season 2 was like pretty good.
And then 3 was all right.
Oh, I meant like, season 1 was great. I think season 3, a lot of people at the time kind of thought like got back to form, because season 2 was somewhat of a low bar. People liked the Hand in the first half, but then it got a little bit, I think, muddled in the second half, maybe trying to set up other Netflix shows. I was trying to remember at the time.
Like Punisher.
Yeah, well, Punisher was the first part of it. That was like the first 3 episodes or something, whenever he got chained up by Punisher and everything. And then like the Hand was in there. And like season 2 wasn't bad by any means, but like people always thought like season 1 and season 3 were like the coup de grace, because they both had Kingpin, and Vincent D'Onofrio back then as Kingpin was like infallible. Like everybody loved him, especially in season 1. Oh,
slamming a man's head into a car door.
And he hadn't become such a caricature. Like he had Vanessa, and her relationship was actually like a really good balance to his brutal edge. Whereas like in Born Again, he's sort of like, Vanessa, you need to stick with me and become a crime boss yourself. Oh, you're a strong, empowered female now.
What's even funnier is that in the comics, Vanessa actually hated Wilson Fisk's criminal ways.
Yeah, well, that's kind of how she was in season 1. It was like, she was aghast, kind of horrified whenever she found out about his criminal ways.
He actually in the comic was willing to retire for her.
All
he wanted to do was kill Spider-Man at one point, but he actually ran out of time to do it. Like he's like, I'm gonna retire, just please let me kill the first superhero I've ever taken. No, midnight struck. You gotta make a decision now. Spider-Man literally Saved by the Bell.
Well, look, if I was Fisk, I'm just saying, as far as the Netflix version goes, I'd be like, Vanessa, your titties are so fantastic. I don't have to kill Spider-Man.
That season had a massive creative overhaul midway through production, with a new team brought in to both shoot new material and yet still incorporate much of what was initially shot. Season 2 was
right, because they panicked and brought back a bunch of the original Netflix guys because people were hating what was being shown so far.
Pretty much.
And then they killed off Foggy. Bullseye is basically written out of the show.
Muse,
Karen just screws off.
The woman defends herself because Daredevil is dispatched of.
And right, she just shoots Muse dead.
Yep. It's got to be. We can't have Daredevil save the woman.
And the White Tiger literally just he's walking down the street and he
Oh
gets
my
shot.
god, White Tiger! I remember doing the live watch along that. I was like, "Oh, you're literally gonna go out as White Tiger the same day that you got exonerated? I hope you die. You know, you're just a stupid ass at this point."
And it's even dumb because I've actually read of Hector because he's shown up in a couple of Spider-Man comics, and he actually was pretty cool in that one.
It's like there's only so much suspension of disbelief I can have. I'm just like, oh, White Tiger, you just want. It was a big court case, the first, however many episodes of this season, where it's like, oh, we're going to fight for you. I'm going to reveal to the judge that you're a vigilante. I'm going to reveal it to the public. Okay, awesome. Like, now just take a few weeks off. It's not that big of a deal. Athletes do it where they take a few weeks off to heal a knee or something.
Like, then he
he goes out the same night. And not only that, but he's not even being secretive about it, like trying to hide in a back alley or behind a dumpster or something.
Or on
he's
the rooftops.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to go walking down the sidewalk. Boop, boop, boop.
Bully Maguire. Bully Maguire, you are not.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you're so stupid. You just deserve to die at this point. I hate to tell it to you, but like, that's actually true. Like, you're so stupid. I can't.
Start to finish by that second team. This includes showrunner Dario Scardapane, with directors Aaron Moorhead and Justin Benson.
Oh yeah, and then there was one episode that was literally like a throwaway with the Irishman and Kamala Khan's dad.
The bank robbery, yeah.
Daredevil was really bad at hiding his secret identity.
Also returning for the first 2 episodes. The result is a season that definitely feels less clunky and isn't as sometimes oddly structured as season 1.
Chances are it's still shit though. Like high chances. Like we're gonna have to cover it as it goes on. And I'm actually gonna have to watch the Netflix series and read the comics starting from Born Again onward up until the most recent run.
Wilson Fisk in the first season of Born Again, it's really annoying too because
he's a Trump allegory.
Well, and he has this really annoying like councilwoman who's supposed to be like his political advisor.
Oh yeah, and she says like no to everything he does.
Yeah, she's just like do nothing, do nothing, do nothing. And he's just like, well, I was just elected. I feel like I should do something. And she's like, no, you're being bad. And he's just like, okay. So like, should I just like sit on my hands? And she's just like, yes, that would be best. But you're supposed to be a smart political advisor.
White Tiger. I'm going to subvert expectations by getting myself capped in the head instantly.
What if in my big white suit, I just walk down the middle of the sidewalk because I'm so secretive?
It's even funnier when you realize he's supposed to have a magic omelet. That's the source of his powers.
Yet the impressive thing about season 1 is how well it still worked, despite it.
It didn't work.
It did not work.
It was torn apart by people online.
Oh God. Whenever they tried to pull out Punisher to like save it, and it was just like he shows up.
He barely
he's like,
does anything.
He's like, Red, you don't gotta do this, Red. Anyways, I'm gonna leave now, Red. It's just like, oh, okay.
And then he gets captured by Kingpin's men.
Oh God. And he's just like, oh, you cops suck who have my logo, by the way, just saying.
Because of course, outdated shaming of people because how dare they like Daredevil and use his symbol.
Its bizarre Frankensteined nature. Season 2 has plenty more to satisfy Daredevil fans, and it does feel more focused, although there are some elements that still aren't quite as impactful.
I guarantee not a single person likes this season or even cares.
That's not a real criticism, by the way. It's just like, oh, there's a few elements that aren't quite as impactful. What does that mean? Like, actually say that something is bad again.
Charlie Cox. Charlie Cox is getting the Ben Affleck's treatment. Start strong, end up flat on your face.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, kind of. He had more of a strong start than Ben Affleck because it was in more than the first part of a movie. But also I feel like his fall is going to be longer because it's going to be multiple seasons.
Assuming Marvel doesn't cap the idea instantly.
Well, I mean, even like 2 seasons of Born Again. I mean, like, that's a hell of a fall off.
Eric Goldman, and this is my review of Daredevil Born Again, Season 2.
As we speak, our enemies are assembling.
Oh, assembling as in Avengers Assemble?
Ooh.
Oh,
they did have that Defenders series, don't forget.
Oh, God. Born Again. Hey, you ripped off Nerdrotic's joke.
Ooh.
Because we already did Born Again in Season 3.
Oof. Yeah, that's
Netflix
true.
show.
They had to like revive him and everything, and then they were just like, we'll just do it again.
Season 1 ended with Mayor Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin, going full scorched earth, declaring martial law in New York City while officially making all vigilante activity completely illegal.
Let's see how well this impacts the rest of the MCU. It won't. Because the MCU is so disjointed at this point.
Even back whenever it was the Netflix shows and Ike Perlmutter, that crossover only ever went one way. Back then, the movies were a juggernaut, so it would be like the shows would acknowledge the movies, but not vice versa. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you got a little bit where they would take the helicarrier and it showed up in Age of Ultron, but it was always in a way where like you didn't really need to watch that. You still got the movie.
Because it's like Nick Fury just says they found the helicarrier in storage.
Yeah. And so it was always like a one-way street, but I could at least respect it because it's like, okay, this is secondary to this. It's kind of like G canon and the the EU and
the
everything.
Expanded universe.
Yeah.
The MCU is rebooting anyway, so it doesn't matter.
With Doomsday, yeah, it's about to be like a soft reboot, apparently.
It's Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Ugh. Welcome to Infinite Earth.
Okay, the comic was legendary. The adaptation, not so much.
I remember the animated movies adaptation where it was like, we're going to destroy the old Super Friends cartoon. We're going to destroy the DC animated universe. We're going to destroy like everything just to reboot it for James Gunn here. It was like
honestly, the only good movie from the Tomorrowverse was the Batman Long Halloween film. I really liked that movie.
So I watched that one. That was where Riddler was like the main villain, right?
No, Riddler wasn't. It was the Holiday Killer. It was Harvey Dent's wife.
Oh, okay. I remember I don't know if it was from Tomorrowverse or not, but
no, you're thinking of the DCAMU with the Hush movie.
Right.
Hush retconned it that it was Riddler as Hush, not Thomas Elliott.
Yeah, where he took on like a new identity because he gained like a greater understanding. Yeah,
that movie wasn't great.
Whew.
Neither was. I mean, then again, the comic itself was already kind of shaky. So
I remember it was the Gotham by Gaslight. That was the one I was thinking
I actually
of.
own the story, so I need to watch the animated adaptation.
Okay. Yeah, the Gotham by Gaslight movie, I thought that was okay. That was the last like DC animated movie where I thought like, oh, okay, I can sort of get behind this. Like that's a nice Elseworlds kind of story.
Thoughts on Kevin's final performance as BTS Batman? Oh, yeah, it was pretty good. I actually saw the clip of that. I wish Joker had a better performance in that. Because I don't even think that was Hamill.
Yeah, and it was like it was purely a key jangling kind of like I wish that it had just been like in a Batman Arkham game or something where like it could have just been an entirely good property and everything. Like it's a fine scene.
It had to be Suicide Squad killed the Justice League.
Oh God. Like the line itself is a good send off, but it felt very forced. Like they like said like, "Oh, Kevin, you're about to die. Hurry up and record this." like honestly, that's what it feels like, and it sort of feels cheap because of that. Where he's like being Batman and everything. It's just like, okay.
At least we got Terry McGinnis in those movies, John. I'll take more Terry where I can. Yes.
Terry's cool.
One of TC's more neglected characters.
Mm.
And it's better than getting treated like literally any of the Robins, because Dick Grayson became the Spider-Man of the DC universe alongside Harley Quinn. Jason Todd just has been completely butchered. He's no longer, a cool badass.
There's that JLU episode with Terry McGinnis where he discovers that like Bruce Wayne gave his DNA and stuff.
Yeah, because Amanda Waller had him cloned.
Yeah,
and the world needed a Batman.
Well, it has a great Batman moment in that episode where he sits down with Ace because she's like gonna die and everything, and he kind of like sympathizes with her on the swing.
Yes. And that's the moment where it's like somebody once said that if you can't imagine Batman sitting down and comforting a child, then you've written a bad Batman. But it's like, and then it was like Tim Drake, they made gay and they made him stupid. Damian, people still don't like him because of the nature of how they brought him about.
Yeah.
Because Batman literally gets raped.
Yeah, I mean, oh no, Talia al Ghul seduced me. Anyway, also like, yeah, I get it. Like it's all about different mediums kind of handle it a little bit differently, but yeah.
Effective immediately. All vigilante activity is illegal.
And season 2's opening feels like it's stepping off the gas.
What does that even mean? Is it a citizen arrest going to get you like arrested? You're like, hey, I saw this guy attacking somebody, so I stopped him. He's like, you're a vigilante. You're under arrest. It's like, wait, what?
And the vigilante just disappears because, they have superpowers. Most of them, or they're just really, really trained.
Well, I just mean like, as far as like being a normal citizen, it's just like, oh, do I interfere with this person who's mugging someone because I could be deemed a vigilante if I stop the mugging? It's like, if I just grab their wrist whenever they're going ready to shoot someone, it's like, oh, you're a vigilante, you're under arrest.
And I got a perfect article for after this as well.
And though this is partially by design, underlining how many of the populace are disturbingly okay with Fisk's approach.
That looks delicious.
Damn you, Bullseye. Why do you have to have such good milkshakes?
It also feels like a bit of a cop-out. It's not as egregious as, say, Stranger Things' take back on the consequences of the Earth literally splitting open at the end of one season, but it still feels less intense than what was hinted at.
Put a Band-Aid on it and continue.
I have never watched Stranger Things, and I'm so glad I didn't, because you had that one gay scene.
No, Brandon, if you're ever going to watch it, just watch season 1, and that's the end.
Oh, it doesn't get any better from there.
No, like people are like, oh, season 4 has some good parts. It's not worth it. It's like season 2, 3.
It's Picard season 3, basically.
Yeah, essentially. It's just ignore the rest. Like, but it's a little bit easier with Stranger Things because it's like season 1 is a pretty nice ending where like everything is resolved. And it's like, oh, the horror is over. It's like pretty contained. And it's just a nice little mini series if you just view it that way.
All right, I'll have to take that into account to add to the series that I am only going to have the most pure experience possible.
Wilson Fisk is watching Stranger Things season 5 in this scene. He's just like,
I don't like gays. I feel like he'd be based enough to say that. A vigilante is already going against the law, so he's making something illegal already illegal.
Never forget.
In general, Born Again season 2 gets off to a slow start.
Tell that to Mom Donnie.
Anyways. Oh, look, we're getting Karen and Matt back together.
Damn it, Vanessa, that's too covering. You're not showing your best assets. Anyway.
Also, they're getting Karen and Matt back together, and it's like, okay, why didn't you do this with the first season, you idiots?
Yeah,
she literally leaves the show for no reason.
God. She's like, you never got over Foggy. It's like,
Can you? I'm sorry, you worked with them. You should know how close those two were to.
Yeah,
we
got some shared trauma. This should, if anything, this should bring us together.
Trauma romance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, that's making me flashback to 3 Jokers. Dear God.
Oh no.
with its weakest episodes kicking off the season. That being said,
This entire show is weak sauce. It's got no spine.
He's like, this show's great, but also it sucks.
Gotta toe that line because you can't risk pissing off one or the other. You can't risk pissing off the corpo, but you can't risk
I'm licking that boot.
you can't risk pissing off a fandom that will rip you to shreds. Who are we kidding? Nobody takes IGN seriously.
Can't spell ignorant without IGN.
I'd rather look at Lego Marvel Superheroes Daredevil mission. I actually remember that. It's like you had Daredevil as a playable character. Elektra was there. Bullseye was there. Kingpin's there. It was like, it's a treat for Daredevil fans. That game is severely underrated. Like, one of the last few great games that reference the comics. Oh, John's going on a little pee break again. So let's continue solo, shall we?
this is still a very solid series that is centered on a continually engaging hero, and rejoice, Daredevil fans, because in the 5 combined seasons of both Daredevil and now Daredevil Born Again, this is only the second time, along with season 2 of the Netflix series, where the title character is thankfully using his full horned costume persona right from the start, and he's not either in the midst of a slow build towards the costume or...
You know, we could have had this in the first season if they didn't bother to take the piss out of him. Okay, John's going to take a minute, he says.
Matt Murdock having quit being Daredevil again, and Charlie Cox continues to expertly embody the character, his gravitas, and his physicality.
Too bad the writing's nowhere near as good. And of course, you have to show the worst episode in the entire season. What's your favorite Kingpin look? Black suit or white suit? White suit. I'm saying white suit because when I think black suit, I am reminded of Into the Spider-Verse. And I don't ever want to be reminded of Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Great thing to come
Action
back
scenes
to.
on this show still don't quite reach the intensity of the...
Look, he says, oh, rejoice, Daredevil fans, because he's in the look right out of the first episode of this season. It's like, we could have been having this if you bothered to actually, write Daredevil in the first season of Born Again. But no, you had to make him quit being Daredevil and have him barely show up in any of the episodes.
Oh my gosh. That's the thing. Like everybody, and this is another funny thing from like season 1 of the Netflix show. People liked the vigilante costume actually more than they like the armored like Daredevil suit.
The armored Daredevil suit doesn't look too terrible.
Well, and they were fine with it in like season 2 and 3, but it was just kind of funny because it looked a little bit clunky after like, I forget how many episodes. I think it was like 12 episodes. I think they only debuted it in like the final episode of season 1 where they have it come out with like the red one. And it was like, it looked a little bit unnatural because it was just like, oh, we've gotten used to this one for so long with like the bandana and all black. Yeah. And he had his best action sequences with that. And so it was just like, it was a little bit jarring. And so, yeah, no, and it obviously caught on. I mean, like by seasons 2 and seasons 3, people were like fully on board with that.
And then when they brought in the yellow suit for She-Hulk, like even back then, back in the 60s, people didn't like that suit. Book of Boba Fett syndrome has infected Daredevil. Chase Edge, welcome to the stream. Never watched a Daredevil show.
Oh my gosh.
I heard the Netflix Daredevil season 1 was good.
Season 1 and 3, I would say, are excellent. Season 2 is still pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. He has a hospital fight with ninjas with Rosario Dawson as the nurse,
night nurse.
Yeah, and that's another great like slow roll though, because she's just kind of a healer for the first little bit and a love interest, and oh my gosh, Perlmutter knew how to do like basic storytelling. And it shows so much. It's just
before she was cast as Ahsoka.
Oh, it shows Rosario Dawson's acting ability before she was reduced to folding arms and going, I'm going to repeat exactly what you just said.
And she's not even allowed to look sexy while doing it.
Oh my gosh. Dave Filoni's like, ew, she's not 16 anymore. Let's cover her up.
Netflix series, which felt so rough and tumble, but we get some awesome Daredevil ass kicking by the end of the first hour, and on balance, the action this season is fast.
And then that stupid grin he made, which they definitely wanted to use that as a meme. They wanted to be a meme face.
Yeah, remember how they tried to force the Superman meme of him like laying in the bed and he was like, and I forget, it was like him getting healed by the solar beams or something.
Yeah, Clone Wars 2008 and Ahsoka are not canon. Exactly.
Exactly. So much easier, and it fits so much better into canon to the 2003 series.
Like, I've seen people argue it's nuanced or something, and I'm like, it violates the movies. It's not canon. Simple as that. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Fast-paced and thrilling. There is more mileage than ever gotten from the use of Daredevil's Trick Billy Club and how he utilizes it in battle, which includes a couple of very fun, almost Sam Raimi type shots where we're...
Oh, please don't compare Disney slop to the work of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies. Even Spider-Man 3, it's like 3 has its problems, but it's a million times better.
No, it doesn't do this cheap first-person perspective. It actually has like, gosh, the Spider-Man 2 Doc Ock train sequence is just like, we're constantly hitting you with new camera angles, new techniques, and we're like zooming through these like super specific points, going in the reflection of Doc Ock's glasses into the action sequence. Like, this is just cheap zoom-in crap.
Like, this is kind of giving me TASM vibes, but TASM was like, it was great because, you know, you felt like you were swinging with Spider-Man.
Essentially seeing the POV of this inanimate club as it flies through the air, ready to slam into a bad guy's skull in a satisfying manner. After sitting out most of season 1, Karen Page is much more central to the story this time out, and it's great to see Deborah Ann Wall and Charlie Cox play off each other again. And the season has some very heated scenes where Matt and Karen debate his refusal to ever kill his enemies, after he very nearly did just that with Bullseye.
Which he did for absolutely no reason, and it was like so horribly like, I get Foggy died.
Foggy was dying. Oh,
like, Foggy was dying, but dude, Daredevil wouldn't just straight up kill a villain like that right away. And he doesn't even actually kill Bullseye. Bullseye somehow survives this. Somehow.
Yeah. I was just going to say
Bullseye returned.
In season 1, and whether that's the right call or not right now, given the stakes they find.
Valentino.
Perfume.
My God.
Themselves in. And speaking of Bullseye, he is the MVP and the standout of season 2 in a lot of ways.
Stop showing that milkshake. I'm getting hungry now.
Yeah.
Also, I like how his scars are like less serious. People always criticize Tyrion in season 3 and 4 of Game of Thrones because his scars, like, he had his whole nose like lopped off and crap in the books, and they're like, oh, it's not severe enough. Like, Bullseye, like, he has like a little blemish on his right cheek and on his left above his eyebrow. Like, that's it. He's hardly even
it kind of reminds me of what they did with Jigsaw in Punisher season 2. Where he doesn't even look as messed up as he's supposed to do.
Yeah, his face is literally supposed to be like a puzzle put together.
You know, because he had a run-in with, you know, the freaking Punisher. I mean, shoot, in like in the first season, it's like Frank is literally running his face for shattered glass, and it's like,
yep,
just walk it off, Bullseye. Milkshake somehow looks better than the show it's in.
Yeah, I mean, it absolutely does.
Did it the potential for some sort of cooperation between Bullseye and Daredevil, but suffice to say, it's more complicated.
Oh, now you finally kind of put some element of Bullseye here, and yet the costume still looks awful.
Colin Farrell should teach him. He'll be like, Bullseye, eh?
Okay, that Bullseye looked like something you would find in the Ultimate Comics, and it's like at least it worked.
Complicated than that.
Bullseye was in season 3 of the Daredevil show, and he was awesome. They have a fight scene, oh my gosh, where Matt's constantly trying to close the distance, and Bullseye is throwing everything in the room at him. He's literally just like, taking a stapler and firing it. Like, he's improvising constantly. It's a great choreographed action sequence.
Bullseye's a great villain.
They will never match that in this show because they're not creative, they're not dedicated, they're not.
They always have to incorporate CGI somewhere.
Yep. No, and that's the great about Daredevil is because you sort of cover his face, and same thing with Bullseye whenever he was being this assassin, because he was actually pretending to be Daredevil, trying to ruin the public perception of him. And so you had sort of a where Bullseye was in the Daredevil suit, the red one, and Daredevil was in his vigilante suit, the black with like the bandana and stuff. And so they were going toe to toe. So you could have stunt guys essentially, and you could have them do this awesome action sequence where they were jumping all around, doing these one-shot takes, minimal CGI.
And then Kingpin comes in and slams Bullseye against the wall and breaks his back.
That's the end of the season. Whenever they have the 3-way fight, there's actually a sequence before that where it's just Bullseye versus Daredevil. Whenever Bullseye is still being paid to pose as Daredevil and to kill like a leaker for Kingpin. And he actually ends up winning and like killing the reporter and everything that Karen Page is trying to protect. It's season 3. Yeah, it's got a bunch of awesome shit.
Hallway fights are now the new laser beam in the sky with Wakanda. Oh yes, Rogue One.
Yeah, Daredevil season 1 had a great hallway fight. They were really low budget because they had to have guys like literally get kicked into a door, and they would redress, come back in from a different angle, and like come out and fight him again. And it was like you had to work within your constraints, and it was a great stunt man because he had the mask on.
This is why limitations often, can work, because it's like it inspires creativity.
I killed Foggy Nelson, not to mention a lot of other people, is not swept under the rug. But of course, being a despicable fictional killer and villain does not stop you from being a wonderful fictional character, and Bullseye is an especially electric presence this season.
Like, look at him. This is like the most basic generic costume you can ever find.
Ski mask with a bullseye on it.
With Wilson Bethel doing a fantastic job of showing
it's not even white to stand out. It's literally the same color as the mask.
Yeah, it's like gray shade. Yeah,
and it looks like a sticker they just slapped on.
Characters
looks like a Storm Shadow or something.
Eccentric perspective. And when Bullseye unleashes with his turns any object into a deadly weapon abilities, particularly when it's against someone who's not an innocent, it is inarguably thrilling. The rest of the supporting
you're just saying that because you like seeing people who are supposed to be a stand-in for Ice get killed.
Ooh.
We'll touch on that in a bit, folks. Don't you worry.
It's a mixed bag in terms of how well they are utilized. The end of season 1 did begin to rectify the sketchy nature of some of Born Again's newly introduced characters, and that does...
You mean characters that had absolutely no basis in the comics and wasted everybody's time? Like this bit.
Continue here to some extent, with Kirsten McDuffie and BB Urich given more to do.
And BB, because they killed off Ben Urich.
Yeah. Yep, Ben Urich.
From what I heard, Ben was like probably the worst part about the Daredevil show because he was barely adapted from the comics. And he was a race swap.
I did not know about the race swap, but yeah, he was like very loosely involved. He was often used as just an instigator because he was like an investigative journalist, and it was like, okay, like Ben Urich is going to start the investigation, then Daredevil inevitably has to come in because he can't get anything done against Fisk.
Yep.
circle of Buck Cashman, Sheila Rivera, and Daniel Blake have some strong material, as they must continue to navigate how much they're willing to go along with the whims of their amoral boss. But then you have a character like Heather Glenn, who still feels very out of place on the series. She didn't fit in well as a love interest for Matt, and now she's working for Fisk with a subplot.
Oh yeah, she is a character from the comics, the more recent comics, I might add.
It's sort of like the female muse, where I know Gary was saying like, oh, there's a female muse. She debuted in 2025.
Oh no.
And like the one lady's like getting visions of Muse. I think it might have even been her, because she was almost killed by him. And it's like, oh, we're going to get a female Muse. Oh my gosh.
Oh, they have to make a female. There's a female Scorpion. There's a female. Okay, female Doc Ock came from the 90s. There's a female Electro. There's a female Trapster. There's a female Beetle.
Is Trapster really female, or is it a trap?
Oh no, it's a woman being the Trapster instead of a guy, Paste Pot Pete, as he used to be called.
Oh dear.
Yeah, dude literally just has like a giant glue gun as a weapon. And now it's like a woman, and I'm like, why the hell did you have to
Paste Pot Penny?
Plot about a process.
Oh, and then there was Lady Stiltman, but Lady Stiltman's literally a joke character, hence the name. So, I like Stiltman. I like him. Fun gimmick.
What she went through in season 1, but that doesn't really gel either. And though she has a lot more screen time this season, the niece of the late White Tiger, Angela Del Toro, is an example of a character who's mostly surface level and given a pretty basic, I stand up for what my uncle believed in persona.
They're definitely setting her up to become the next White Tiger. Because strong female woman. As if the MCU couldn't get any more MCU.
Oh, she was immediately like that. She was guilt tripping Matt because he didn't do a good enough job as like her de facto attorney. And he was just like, look, lady, I mean, your uncle was very clearly a vigilante violating a bunch of laws. I'm doing the best I can. And he still got him off. And she was like, oh, you didn't do a good enough job. It's just like, F you.
Like, look, lady, it's not my fault that guy had a death wish and ran out into the night with his costume and got himself shot in the head. Now, Mecha G75 Trapster is not a discount Condiment King because he actually is older than Condiment King.
Ooh.
There are several characters who make much more of an impact, though they aren't in as many episodes as one might hope. This includes a couple of Matt's fellow vigilantes, Jack Duquesne, aka Swordsman, and of course the highly anticipated...
Oh, Jack Duquesne was in the freaking Hawkeye show too. And of course, we don't even see him in a costume. Because of course we don't.
Was he the sword fighter?
Yes, he is. He's the swordsman.
Yeah. He was the new husband for Kate Bishop's mom, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because it was frequently predicted, because I often say like the Hawkeye show is actually like probably the best of the Disney Plus shows just by default, because
but
it has
because
her...
Kate Bishop was written to be, respectful of...
Yeah, she actually gives a shit about Hawkeye, and she doesn't like shit on him constantly. And it's like it's a weird like change of pace from what they normally do. And then like,
I mean, it's still not a great, it's
pretty much like, oh, Christmas slop or whatever. It's just like, and then the finale is fucking stupid, where it's like, oh, we're going to go out to the middle of this plaza and just do a bunch of trick arrows.
And then Kingpin gets shot in the head.
Oh my God. Kate Bishop beats Kingpin. Yeah. It's like, it starts off like okay, but like the swordsman, I remember was he was basically like teased as the villain, and then it was revealed that like her mom was actually the villain. And I was like, oh, that's actually like an interesting twist, because like you were setting him up as like the big bad guy, and then he ends up holding off some villains. I was like, color me impressed, Marvel. You managed to not make the white guy the villain one time.
Oh, and you want to know what? I totally forgot. Daredevil was in the Echo show for like one
Oh my
scene.
god. Yeah, because he fights Echo, and then Kingpin is like, "Oh, none of my men have stood up against him like you have. You're really cool and awesome, girl."
The show that absolutely nobody heard of.
Return
Well,
of
in their
Kristen
defense, Brandon, it was pretty lame.
Ritter as Jessica Jones. They keep us waiting quite a while to get to Jessica, and it does feel like even more could be done with her, but it is
Kristen Ritter, you're like goth girl hot, but also
They only dragged you in because they're desperate to get people to watch this.
yeah. Unfortunately, you're like pushing 40 now, and you don't really fit the Jessica Jones vibe as much with the fingerless gloves and such.
Fingerless gloves. For superheroes trying to keep their identity secret.
still so gratifying to have her back in this universe, with Ritter as effortlessly witty as ever in this role.
Honestly, every time they bring in a character of the old days into the MCU, I just feel a sense of dread because of what the MCU is now.
For those who don't remember, I mean, Jessica Jones season 1 was highly lauded because it was the Purple Man story. That was her entire comic run. And then after that, they floundered. Nobody knew what to do with her. She was just sort of there. And they continued her because season 1 was successful.
Really successful.
Yeah, and like Luke Cage was the same deal, but more of a half a season where they had the flashbacks and stuff. They had the Power Man costume, like sort of well integrated into the story. Like a lot of these Netflix shows and Iron Fist, nobody liked because the
Iron Fist was like the joke.
Yeah, the actor sucked and didn't train his martial arts and all, and everybody blamed it on, oh, it's because it's the white savior. It's like, no. That works if it's the right guy. But like, yeah, Jessica Jones, she was probably good in like 1 out of 4 appearances as far as like her actual story goes, because I'm counting Defenders as well. Well, I'll say 2 out of 5 because she was good in like, I think she was in like Daredevil season 2 or 3 or something. And then like Luke Cage, she sort of like really crossed over with. And then like her later seasons in Defenders, she was not so good. Yeah. So bringing her back, it's a little bit post-mortem. It's a little bit like, how many more times can we stretch this out to be nostalgia berries? Let's see.
While providing a different kind of energy for Matt to interact with.
I hope you can walk because I'm not carrying you.
Tony Dalton, meanwhile, is a blast as Jack, though he too feels like someone itching for more screen time. And also adding his trademark, oh-so-appealing offbeat energy is Matthew Lillard, who pops in throughout season 2 as the mysterious Mr. Charles, who has some notable business connections to the Fisks. Another highlight of season 2 is more of the fascinating interplay between Fisk and his wife Vanessa.
Vanessa, who they just completely butchered.
Yeah, she became female Kingpin.
And the emasculated Kingpin.
Oof.
Having to sit through marriage counseling.
Vanessa, I know you cheated on me several times, but just accept me back. I'm so sorry that you did that.
It seems to me a common trend which shows that the first season is and usually always is the best. Well, you got to put your your best step forward.
Well, that's true with modern shows. Because like old shows, the first season was often rough, and then they'd have to like find their footing with season 2 or 3. But that was also like pre-streaming, all that sort of stuff.
With Vincent D'Onofrio and Ailette Zahur once more playing wonderfully off each other, as we see how Vanessa continues to be the one person who the otherwise terrifying, combustive Fisk truly loves. The allegorical use of Fisk and his administration as a parallel to modern-day American politics
here we go. We're touching on a subject we're going to be covering in just a bit. It's evolving backwards.
Yeah.
We're de-evolving. Oh, and look, we're referencing Rogers the musical.
Matt.
continues to loom large in Born Again, with Fisk's anti-vigilante task force even more directly serving as a pretty obvious substitute for ICE in terms of the unchecked damage and the heartbreak they are inflicting upon its citizens.
Yeah, they're at every airport now, by the way, and literally nothing is happening because people are like, oh, they're not some terrible monster.
Unchecked damage and heartbreak. You mean they're doing their freaking jobs and making America a safer place to live?
Yeah, poor ICE at the Air Force. By the way, there was a dad with his infant son who became non-responsive, and an ICE agent left his post and did the Heimlich maneuver and saved the child from dying. So such horror. He saved the child.
See him, Mikaji. Older shows. Yes, a lot of older shows are better.
Yes.
Again, Samurai Jack. I can't shut up about it. I love that show.
Have you seen the black and white episode yet, Brandon?
No, I have not. The last one I saw was I'm on the one where he visits his hometown and he has like a flashback to his childhood. But the one I saw before that was with the Ultra robots, the ones that were built and infused with the power of Aku.
Oh, okay.
The one where he needed a metal arm so he could, slice through them.
Yeah.
High five.
I believe it's called I believe it's called the Shinobi. Whenever it oh man. Well, I won't spoil anymore, but yeah, you'll know the episode whenever you get to it, whenever I refer to the black and white episode.
Okay, I can hardly wait. And it's like Star Trek, the original series, surprisingly still really good even all these years later.
Well, that's the thing. It's like not reliant on a super big continuity or anything. It's kind of just like each episode is its own thing. And it's just like, okay, let's go ahead and just build on that week to week to week. And now you know the character, and we're just gonna keep manufacturing new awesome moments for that character.
Like Kirk kissing a hot alien gladiatorial woman and then knocking her out right afterwards.
It might not be subtle, but
Or there was one of my favorite Kirk moments is in an episode where they travel to like the 1940s gangster.
Oh
planet.
Yeah, the Chicago gangsterland.
And he's talking and he's showing them this card game to play, and he's making up all these different rules. Yet he looks like he's so into it before they just beat the living crap out of all of them.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like Kirk is a student of history, and I appreciate that because it's like, yeah, if I had studied these people and then I actually got to like interact with them, I would probably act exactly the same way. I'd be like, hey, Caesar, let's have a gladiatorial contest. Here's what we're going to put the wages on. Oh my gosh.
How is it ICE fault? They aren't the ones playing in traffic, blowing whistles in people's faces, crashing a church during service, among other stupid. No, they're just trying to do their job.
Captain Thievius, that's why it's hilarious now they're at the airport, because it's like people aren't going to cause those big riots because then they're going to piss everybody off because they're delaying flights and everybody has a schedule when they get to the airport. And so you can't have these big organized riots against them. And so now everybody's seeing like normal people who have maybe only seen news clips of them, oh gosh, look at them shooting people and stuff. It's like, oh wait, they're actually like normal. And look at this. They're just like standing there as I go through security and everything. Turns out they're not like these evil monsters.
It's almost like the people who got themselves shot and killed were asking for it because they decided not to comply.
Yeah, it's literally called self-defense. Like,
oh, I'm gonna piss off a lot of people because
I tried to run me over with your car. Why did you shoot me?
It very much feels in the spirit of classic Marvel comics, where its superhero universe reflects very real-life conflicts in modern society.
Except the difference is they weren't so on the nose, and even then, it was like they didn't talk down to an audience.
Yeah, there's more unifying messages. Having all the bad guys come out after 9/11 and help clean up the rubbish is
that's
like,
not it.
Yeah, that's completely different from something divisive where it's saying to hate half of America. Like post 9/11, it was like very unifying, and everybody was like, especially cleaning up rubble. It's not like they were even going into Iraq or anything. They were just like, "Oh, we're gonna help save people because we got hit by something that is out of our control." And so it was just like, "Oh, okay, that's like a nice thing because this is these villains going like, hey, there are some things like we have our petty squabbles, but this is above us. We're all gonna come together for this, you know?
Even if it does feel really tacky.
Yeah.
People have kind of complained, the 9/11 Marvel issue was kind of like it's debated like if it was.
It was in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, it's like classic like the X-Men books are technically, they have all of their own messages, about race and all that, but it's like, or civil rights, but it's like even then it's like it still was like, it was interesting, it didn't talk down to an audience, and even in the context of in universe it made sense because you have all these different people who were getting all kind of random powers. Nobody could predict who was going to do what or what they were even going to do once they found out they had powers.
Yeah, it's funny reading those classic comics. Even in the Thor comics, they have Merlin say like, I was the first mutant, I had telekinesis and stuff. And so they were obviously like working out a lot of the power scaling and a lot of the mutant slash superhero and all that sort of stuff.
If this was 40K, these idiots would get in the way of Space Marines fighting to stop literal aliens from killing us.
Yep.
Daredevil Born Again Season 2 has some undeniably exciting and satisfying moments as it concludes, albeit intermixed with a couple of beats that feel like they cut some corners dramatically. But it's very
I would
best
just
material
love if Bullseye threw like a pointed object in Jessica Jones and just ricochets off her head and she's like, ow. He's like, oh shit, it didn't kill you. I thought it was going to.
Oh, hey, WA, you're back. IGN stands for Inaccurate Garbage Network.
Actually around the middle of its 8-episode season, including an especially strong and involving episode full
Inaccurate Games Network, because that is how they started.
The infamous Cuphead tutorial where that guy couldn't pass it.
Or the IGN the Pokemon one where it was like too much water.
of flashbacks that are set near the start of the original Netflix Daredevil series.
Oh no, they're flashing back so that they can tear apart the original Netflix show.
We're gonna get more backstory, guys, even though it's what we didn't ask for, and it only makes our characters worse.
Intercut between the past and the present, there are clever changes to the visual style to match how that previous series looked, including altering the aspect ratio. And beyond that, Born Again.
Oh, congrats! You messed with the black lines on the side of the screen. Good for you.
Yeah, remember when Simpsons on Disney Plus would only do the 16:9 aspect ratio, and they got so much pushback they had to change it to an option. They're like, fine, you could have your 4:3 like the show was originally aired.
Yeah. I actually keep forgetting The Simpsons is airing on D Plus now.
Yep.
But they're such a far cry from what they used to be.
Well, it's probably a good amount of their subscribers is just having the old seasons on there.
Yeah, I remember all my dad would just watch of modern Simpsons as the Treehouse of Horror, and that was it.
Yeah, that's usually the one that's like worth it. And then even that fades after a while. It's probably like, I always say like seasons 1 through 8 are like the essentials. And then like, up to season 10, okay. But then like Treehouse of Horror after that, yeah, it's like, and even that's only up to like season.
Okay, so just only watch like the first 10 seasons. 8 at the very most.
Pretty much, yeah. Like 1 through 8 is like solid gold. Actually, 8 actually ends on one of the best episodes. And then like it's like they start to kind of expand too far get different writers, etc. Where it's just like
they got rid of Apu.
Well, that was quite a while later. Yeah, nobody caught onto that controversy until like the 2020s, I think.
Yeah, and the animation just got worse because it was like the old seasons had so much charm to them, and now
every episode just a freaking it's
like
amazing.
What's weird is the original like Futurama, the art style is a lot more solid there compared to The Simpsons, and it still is able to do slapstick pretty well.
Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of his focus went to that, like around 2000, and that's part of the reason. I'm not going to say it's part of the reason why The Simpsons dropped off, because, like, obviously it was a conglomeration of reasons, but
no more slaps. Like the slapstick just kind of stopped.
Well, it was a lot of like the original writers would go over to like Futurama or whatnot, and you saw that later Futurama seasons where like they kind of got off of that as well.
But they've recently returned to that. Like they had actually one of the funniest episodes ever in season 10.
Oh, okay.
Nah, Cap. The Space Marines would just walk through them, trampling underfoot in the name of the Emperor. Oh, look, he's back. 2D Clone Wars is greater than the prequels.
I guess I would agree with that as far as like economy of storytelling.
I mean, I like them both just fine.
Yeah, I like them both. I would say they kind of feed each other, because like part of the brilliance of Clone Wars is that it does lead into Revenge of the Sith so perfectly, and part of the thing that makes Revenge of the Sith great is that it actually takes into account
various aspects of the Clone Wars multimedia.
Yeah,
project.
especially like Grievous and you know how Shakti and everything, if you count the deleted scenes and whatnot. Shakti dies more than anybody else in Star Wars if you count the deleted scenes.
Futurama is greater than The Simpsons.
Ooh. I get like quantity over quality, but I would say Simpsons has provided more great moments. Simpsons, after a certain point, yeah, you can cut it off, but like
the Michael Jackson episode, man.
Yeah, the whole 90s for the Simpsons, it's like, man, holy cow, what a run.
We got a prequel hater. Oh, he doesn't just hate the prequels. He hates Return of the Jedi too.
Oof.
Season 2 embraces story elements and characters from the old days, gifting longtime fans.
AKA, we ripped off aspects of the old days because people hated the first season. Please watch our show.
Mm-hmm.
We need it. If we don't get enough money, we won't be able to keep the lights on any longer.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciated callbacks.
Can you stop him?
Verdict. It's probably going to be an 8 out of 10 because they can never do anything, you know, below or above that.
Hey, a lot of times they'll do 7.
Sometimes 3, because I think they gave Sonic Forces a 3, and even that was too high. Sonic Forces, man.
Hey, for a game, a 3 is pretty low. It's basically like saying like, oh, it functions like as a game.
South Park is greater than The Simpsons.
I mean, oh man, I have to review South Park, because South Park definitely falls off after a certain season as well. But I feel like South Park maybe maintains a little bit longer than The Simpsons.
By the way, I love Return of the Jedi, just not Han or Ewoks. Yeah, for the dumbest reasons possible.
Yeah, I mean, like Han, I can understand like he's not as good as A New Hope or Empire Strikes Back, but he's still good. And like Ewoks, it's just always been a stupid excuse. It's like, oh, they're too cute. It's like, okay, does it go anywhere beyond that?
And besides, they may look cute, but those things will freaking eat you.
They play drums on your severed heads.
I'm giving Daredevil Born Again Season 2 a
7. The IGN 7.
Very hit it on the nose.
It's a good show that offers a more focused story than Season 1, as Daredevil and his allies attempt to push back against Mayor Fisk's reign of terror. Starting with Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk, the core characters remain compelling, with both Karen Page and Bullseye getting to step up in a
Of course, it's the 7 out of 10, which means this is shit.
big way this season. At the same time, it feels like there are simply too many characters. A few that you'd like to see more of or underutilized.
Like either a 7 or a 9, where it was like lately they've been giving some stuff a 6, and it's just like, really? You're going to give it a lower score than Veilguard?
And also, it feels like it has too many characters. I don't know. Maybe they should have not have invented so many actually new characters that weren't from the comics.
Supporting players and subplots feel
they're showing it again.
Stop it.
extraneous or surface level, with some cheesier dialogue, sometimes butting heads, with far more strongly written interactions. But at the end of the day, it sure feels good to once more see Matt Murdock put on that costume and go toe-to-toe with a bunch of guys who are...
It just feels depressing because you remember the highs that was the Netflix Daredevil show.
Mm-hmm.
Very much asking for trouble.
Here to chat a little bit more about it, our chief Hell's Kitchen correspondent, reviewer.
And I think we'll stop it right there and move right on to the article because my dad shared this with me. So this is coming straight from my man myself, the man responsible for the host you see today,
Brandon the sperm donor. Anyways,
hey. So from Breitbart, we have Marvel's Daredevil Born Again showrunners admit season 2 is about Trump and ICE. I called it all the way back when we reviewed the trailer for Born Again season 2.
Ice baby. Do 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 do.
I don't even know who the heck wrote this. Warner Todd Hudson.
Uh-huh.
Dario Scardapane, the showrunner for Marvel's next streaming season of Daredevil, has admitted that season 2 is an allegory about the evils of tyrants like Trump and their subordinates like immigration and customs enforcement ICE agents. Oh dearie me. This is going to age terribly for Disney, isn't it?
Probably.
Definitely.
Yeesh.
Scardapane claims that this new season of the gritty superhero series is an allegory for autocrats such as Rome's Nero, Chile's Pinochet, Spain's Francisco Franco, and of course Donald Trump, because we're still suffering TDS all the way here in 2026. They'll do anything to talk about real life stuff. They just cannot get it out of their asses to tell a decent story based in fiction. Because of course they can't.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
You gotta love it. I am so sick of this nonsense, and I don't even care about politics. Cannot wait for when this stuff ends. One day, man. One day this stuff is going to end. The showrunner insisted that these dictators all come to power the same way, according to Entertainment Weekly. You mean by Donald Trump actually, having one of the greatest presidential campaigns of all time? I will still forever love the fact that he actually went to go work for McDonald's just to show up Kamala Harris. And on top of that, I don't feel like I'm being dictated in any way. Maybe because I'm not. So if you go back to the historical rise of autocrats, whether it's Nero, whether it's Pinochet, whether it's Franco, they follow a script, he exclaimed. He noted that aspects of the season are meant to evoke the actions of these tyrants. One scene featuring Mayor Wilson Fisk's black-clad thugs abducting a woman off the streets has parallels to ICE and is a homage to Ryan Coogler.
Wait, what was that woman doing?
Exactly.
So they're abducting a woman off the streets. Well, that's like leaving out a lot of context, even for Wilson, even for their predetermined, scenario where they're like, "Oh, Wilson Fisk is evil, so we're gonna make him do this." It's like, well, you're still being vague. You're still not giving full details.
And with
was
ICE,
she attacking people and then she was arrested?
like,
Was she illegal and then she was
I don't
arrested?
even recall ICE, beating the crap out of, illegal immigrants that, come peacefully. I mean, shit, they opened a program so, illegal immigrants can turn themselves in and have an opportunity to come back.
Now, and little known fact, like that's literally the majority of the deportations has been voluntary. Like they get $1,000, they get sent to their country, and then they can come back. That's literally the incentive is, they get to try again legally.
Which is another historical example of strong arming disenfranchised communities, Scar DePayne says.
Disenfranchised, so they don't get their special benefits anymore.
Oh, gee, oh my. Well, get used to it, man. As we got into post-production, he insisted, speaking of the parallels he sees between his series and Trump, things got into an art imitates life place, aka we let TDS get to our heads, and it's just completely, it's going to date this very, very badly. Man, I miss older Disney. It was better. Old Disney superior, modern Disney inferior. Feel like the word dictator is losing all meaning as a word. One of many that are, Nazi, racist, homophobic, transphobic,
Well, this is how you preempt it. As far as dictator goes, be like, oh, wow, he's a dictator. So if he loses this fall's elections, you're going to look pretty silly, aren't you? Because a dictator would never allow him to lose some elections.
Marvel executive producer Sana Amanat agrees that the series is a wild parallel to Trump's America and insists that Marvel has a long history of using autocratic villains to warn against discrimination against marginalized communities.
What marginalized?
Except we have villains like the Shocker and, we have Shocker, you got Stiltman. It's like most of these villains were just,
Vulture is just an old guy
flying around with electromagnetic wings.
Green Goblin, Hobgoblin, they're like old white business CEO. Like you can't get much less class or like discrimination based than that.
What's interesting about this is that the villain becomes a part of the system and controls the system, Amanat explained. So what does a character like Daredevil, who's not a traditional hero, he's not Captain America, he's not Spider-Man, he's very much someone who is a complex character into him. Excuse me. First off, Daredevil came all the way back and came back. He was here since the 60s. And he has a no-kill rule, just like, a lot of other heroes. He doesn't kill. And to say, oh, he's complex, it's like, okay, a lot of other characters are complex. Like Spider-Man and Captain America have had their own struggles to do.
They don't just kill willy-nilly. Like, they actually, like, have their morals as well.
He's realizing that he needs to become the symbol that fights back and realizing also that there's power in that collective. He can become a symbol so he can create power and motivation in a collective and that the power is ultimately with the people. I think that's a powerful story. I think we've told stories like that in Marvel before. It's a story of history as well. Yeah, sure.
He can become a symbol so he can create power.
It's going to be
motivation in a collective. Collectivism is Marxism. Oh my gosh. This dude's just no offense, but this sounds like a bunch of comedy gobbledygook, as Norm Macdonald would say.
All right. And the thing is, These people don't know anything about dictatorship. If the USA was really a fascist regime like they claim, they would have been visited by the secret police and either disappear or sent to a camp. Wait, hang on. Did the article really bring up Emperor Nero as a comparison? The guy who killed his mother and 2 wives? Haven't recalled any president doing that. Also, one last thing. So, because of the state of Marvel and them keep doing stupid crap like this with the whole, we need to be an allegory for Trump and ICE. So it's funny because they recently had Dan Slott, the writer who drove Spider-Man into the ground for 10 years in a row, beg people to buy their comics. Is Marvel Comics okay? Spider-Man writer Dan Slott begs fans, buy my new book or it dies. Veteran Marvel writer Dan Slott has gone public with an urgent plea for fans and comic shops to support his new Spectacular Spider-Man Brand New Day series. Because, of course, it's going to be a tie-in title to the movie. Warning that low orders could kill the book as early as issue 5. Oh, no. Please.
But there should always be more of the thing. Otherwise, you're bad.
The direct appeal comes as Marvel continues to face sales challenges and rapid cancellations across its line. Gee, I wonder why.
Maybe because of pushing crap like this.
Here's the TLDR. Dan Slott posted a video urging readers to add the series to pull lists and retailers to order beyond issue number 1. He cited Marvel's pattern of short 5-issue test runs, noting that recent cancellation of the Imperial line at issues 5 and 6. Slott's long history with Spider-Man, including record-breaking runs on The Amazing Spider-Man, makes the plea especially notable, because nobody will forgive you for what you did during those 10 years, Dan. The call highlights broader worries about Marvel's monthly sales in 2026, where digital and trade paperback numbers don't always save print titles. Well, gee, maybe if you actually hired people that actually had any kind of talent.
Exactly.
All right, John. Yeah, John, this is the last thing we're going to cover tonight.
Yeah. I figured about 2 a.m. is a good stopping point.
Yeah. No official cancellation for Brand New Day yet. Oh, please cancel it. But Slott stressed support on issues 2 through 5 is critical.
What a terrible photo, too. He's just like, ooh.
By the way, he blocks anybody on Twitter that criticizes him.
Yeah, he's like Birdman. All right.
Yes. Why is Dan Slott begging for sales on his new Spider-Man series? In the video circulating online, Slott explains the stakes plainly. Issue number 1 will ship because first issues always get ordered because, it's basically a rule of thumb that if it's a good series, it will sell like crazy.
Well,
I mean,
and that's why they constantly reboot with like another number 1.
Exactly.
It's sort of like, let's try and hook some new people in here.
I mean, Todd McFarlane's adjectiveless Spider-Man number 1 broke records back in the 90s when it came out. And yes, I actually own a copy of that issue.
Well, the thing is, the more you do that, the lesser the effect becomes. Because it's sort of like whenever people are like, you can't reboot DC another time. Like whenever people are talking about like James Gunn getting booted, it's like, yeah, I mean, I sort of get you, but also like
Gunn's DC sucks.
Yeah, imagine if we got it right, like what the response would be. Like if we made it like the DCAU Superman, it was just like a really heartfelt, wonderful story. But like I get like the franchise fatigue, and it sort of happened with Bumblebee and Transformers, where it was like it had such a bad lead in with the fourth one,
Age of Extinction.
Yeah, I think that was the one that led into Bumblebee.
No, Bumblebee was basically like a reboot. And it was a lead-in for Rise of the Beast, which that was a terrible movie in its own right.
I see. Yeah, and so it was like, if you'd had another one, like maybe on that quality level, you could have gotten a good thing going. It's like you got to build back up momentum after so many flops or like a certain amount of like oversaturation and whatnot.
but retailers and fans must commit to later issues for the series to survive. He referenced Marvel's recent decision to cancel the Imperial crossover books after just 5 or 6 issues, calling it a sign of how quickly titles can vanish without sustained orders. Slott, who pitched the series himself rather than waiting for an assignment, tied the launch to the upcoming Spider-Man movie this summer and encouraged longtime writers to show up now. None of them are coming, Slott. What is Spectacular Spider-Man Brand New Day actually about? The new series revives the Brand New Day era Slott helped define years ago, focusing on Peter Parker's life after major status quo shifts. Yeah, you know, having him break up with MJ again, bringing in Paul, having Mary Jane become Venom.
What?
Oh no, she's Venom now. She has the symbiote.
Venom.
Oh, and when she has
Eminem
the
would
symbiote,
say.
and when she has the symbiote suit on, she literally just looks like a muscular dude instead of a, she Venom.
She's not like Shriek or something.
No, she's not.
Which Shriek was already pretty cringe in the Spider-Man 2 game where she was like, Peter, you didn't buy enough of my book. He's like, I'm sorry.
That's like one of the worst parts of that game. And that game's
and it's like, why are you having him apologize to the symbiote who's bringing out her worst qualities and making her be evil? And he's like, I'm so sorry, MJ. You're so right. It's like, no, she's not. She's evil right now. What don't you get about this?
And then it's like, Venom's the symbiote's currently dead because the villain of the book killed the Shocker for his gauntlets to use against Venom. I mean, the only good part that's come out was the fact that apparently Paul's dead.
There you go.
Early solicits promise fresh story time with classic Spider-Man vibes. Classic Spider-Man vibes, huh? Stuff we haven't had for nearly 18. I mean, I technically close. I want to be generous and say 18 years. Longer than that because we had to deal with the freaking Clone Saga back in the mid to late 90s.
Oof.
And the 2000s had their own problems with something like Sins Past.
Hey, some of the games have been okay.
Okay, the games, sure. And yeah, we had Spectacular Spider-Man, the TV show. But the comics just completely fell apart.
Yep, and comics are the source, and movies are the most easily accessible. So
like
those
the Spider-Man comics never really recovered after the Clone Saga. Maximum Carnage was like the last decent Spider-Man storyline. But the short test window means it needs strong early sales to prove itself.
Oh my gosh, how long does he go on?
Too long.
Holy cow. Oh, he bullet points it at the end there, I think.
Yeah. What fans and retailers are saying about Slott's appeal. Reactions are split. Some fans praise Slott for being transparent and honest about the realities of comic sales. Others criticize the tone, saying the begging framing feels like a warning sign for the industry. Comic Shots report mixed pre-orders so far, with the final cutoff for issue number 1 set for late March. Dan Slott's direct plea for Spectacular Spider-Man Brand New Day puts a human face on Marvel's sales realities in 2026. And boy, what a face it is.
Again, like One Piece has had they are now the best-selling comic ever, and like manga has gradually taken over any comic book company, storefront, etc. It's so easy.
Get this. The veteran writer isn't panicking. He's asking fans and retailers to back a book he believes in before the 5-issue test window closes. Gee, I don't see most writers having to deal with that.
Yeah.
Because,
Brandon Sanderson writes a lot of good fantasy. He actually finished off Wheel of Time. I haven't gotten to that book yet, but it's pretty highly acclaimed. And he never has to beg. He just makes good shit.
Gee, I wonder why that is. Whether the series survives depends on how the community responds, but the moment underscores the high stakes facing even the most established creators and characters in today's comic. Chances are nobody's going to support this because nobody likes Dan Slott.
Yep. If you're begging, it means it's not a good sign.
How I feel with Guardians of the Galaxy, Brandon, where everyone was changed. Thanks, Gun. Yeah, that was quite an interesting stream we had. Lord of the Rings and Marvel, they just can't get wins these days.
Marvel, man, they're Marvel, they're constantly making new stuff, and then Lord of the Rings, it was kind of like the story was they are finally pillaging it, and it's like you couldn't leave well enough alone.
Nope. I think we gave everything a severe looking over.
You know what we call that? We call that a web slinging, ass kicking.
What game?
Oh wait, that's Marvel versus the oh crap, I'm blinking out on the
Looked like a PS2 era.
Yeah, give me a sec to pull up the file. Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects.
Oh my.
It was a fighting game.
Oh wow.
Yeah, if you liked what you see here today, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And subscribe to John's channel. Links in the description below. And until next time, always remember to be awesome, friends. Take care. Wonder what's next to be ruined. Oh, hell, man. You never know.
Not much left.
Yep. Goodbye, guys.